Champagne on my tongue, silk on my skin, undone. You lean in, say my name like a secret, like a sin. Coconut blow on your collarbone, salt on your lips, I taste home. You say, right, let the night decide. I slide in the passenger side. Yeah. Champagne and silk on my lips, dripping slow from every kiss. Coward in the sway of my hips. I'm a king, I'm a queen in the mist. Ocean breeze all over this ride. Sweet like nectar when we collide. Champagne and silk on my lips. Watch the whole downtown submit. I'm that night rider, low-key lavish. Gold teeth, grin, bad habits. You that island spell, sweet static. Turn a calm heart problematic. Tongue like a passport stamp. Every word leave a mark on your back. You pour that fizz on the curve of my neck. I call that liquid respect. You taste like someone in a slow pour. I sip. Confidence dripping to the towel floor. Every baby in your baritone. Got my eye heels clicking like a metronome. Champagne and silk on my lips.
What's going on, Champagne Gang? We're back at it once again. We had a glitch of 1 or 2 or 3 trying to pull the panel from StreamYard into OBS, but that's alright. Y'all already know I'm gonna figure it out. Y'all know I'm gonna figure it out. Welcome back to the stage, Miss Paula. I think we got it this time. We just gonna do the panel in StreamYard because it didn't work in OBS.
Okay.
But let us
Okay, as promised. Sorry about it.
get back to the point. Hold on, where was this? Welcome back to the stage, Miss Nancy B.
Welcome, everyone that's coming in the chat. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit all on the bell so we can keep Champagne in the algorithm. Let's get it.
I know, because there's always a random trifling that wants to unlike my videos. I don't know how you unlike positivity. Is really confusing to me a little bit. But
do that. All guys do that.
yeah, it's always one. And it's always a random one. Like, it don't be a bunch of people. So I'm starting to believe like it's like a random hater, like for real. Because it's always one on my videos.
Yeah, you got
the trolls be trolling. We got a song for y'all. Y'all want to hear about it? Here you go.
Yeah, that's always one.
Man, listen, but we finna get back into it because I do want to get into tomorrow the story that was shared with me by Nancy B of the little girl or little boy, I'm sorry, who lost his life. Was it? So I do want to get into that because these kids are really losing their lives at the hands of these boyfriends and girlfriends. And that's why I consistently say over and over again, y'all need to be careful who you laying down with. Because laying down can produce a baby. And is that somebody that you want to procreate with for the rest of your life? Is that somebody you willing to do 18 to 21 with?
That's right.
And even further, because parenting don't stop at 21. Matter of fact, that's generally when it begins.
Exactly.
So what is this woman going to be pouring into your child as she's growing up, learning what it means to be a lady? Not a hoe, not a tramp, not a little sexy red, but a lady, a young girl. What is she going to be teaching her? What is this Negro going to be teaching your sons, your grandsons? What are they going to be learning from this individual? That's why you got to be careful. Where you ain't got to worry about this foolishness. It's somebody trifling child.
That's right. That's right. You got to be careful about who you bring around your children, period, especially if you're not with the significant other who you had the baby by. Then you have the baby with somebody else. and try to raise a family with them, you got to make sure they ain't pinching on your baby. They ain't trying to burn them and hurt them behind your back. You got to be careful when you're trying to have babies by somebody else and then bring them in another relationship.
You
Yeah,
definitely you,
all blended families do not work. That is a true statement. All blended families do not work.
absolutely. That's why you need to be careful. As I always say, be careful how you go in. And you ain't got to worry about how you come out. Y'all don't take the time to get to know each other. Y'all get to know each other between the sheets. Y'all don't know how this person think. You don't know how they respond when they mad. You don't know what triggers them. You don't know what makes them happy. You don't know how they behave in public. You don't know what they expect out of you in public. You don't know nothing about this person except how good they are when you laying down. And now you got a baby with them. And wondering why you're arguing and fighting and screaming and complaining. Then you want to jump out that relationship into another relationship with somebody you don't know. Now we trying to figure out how we got so many unalive kids.
That's
Come
right.
on. Y'all
We
got to do
losing too
better.
many of our children. They're dying in the multitudes and thousands and thousands. They're dying.
At the hands of parents. And parents' significant others. That's the sick part. You expect the world to be a dark place. Not home is where the heart is. Or are you telling me that all the hearts then just went dark? So home is dark too.
No,
Try it
We
for me.
must do better. We got to do better.
generally it's living between their legs and not in their heart and their mind.
You
That's what
sounded
happens.
muffled. Say it again, Paula.
I say generally the woman or the parents be living between their legs and not in their heart and their mind. So
Absolutely.
they don't see the forest for the trees.
Absolutely.
They don't.
They don't even see the trees. Matter of fact, they see the trees and they calling them buildings. They calling them houses.
And before you even lay down, it used to be that you would want to know that he had a green card and what he had going on other than. But now you don't want to know nothing. You just want
Right.
to what the car gets you or the money gets you or the what gets you now. You don't want to know nothing.
Yeah. They just want the money. They want the bag. Because somebody told them to chase the bag. So that's all that matters. That's what we dealing with Dro. I'm pretty for sure somebody told her to chase the bag.
Oh, it was much about the bag. Oh, right before you do this, I got a question for both you and Paula. Since we're all women and I first discuss Lulu, let me put this on y'all mind before you push play, Champagne. Did y'all ever think that even though she pretty and she done got her body did and all of that, did y'all ever think that she might be insecure about herself? She could be one of those ones that's pretty but still insecure and talk doggish, maybe called him gay sometime, probably dogged him out and said bad stuff towards him. See, these arguments behind closed doors could have been a hot mess. I just want y'all to think about that while we looking at this.
What
That's
part
one of the things that we
Mr. said
discussed yesterday about the toxicity, about that the relationship was probably toxic anyway,
yeah,
and that what we
yeah,
saw on TV was a show.
because of when a woman wants to better herself, meaning plastic surgery of any kind, that's going to do it because of herself and not because she want to make it, for me. And
Right.
generally, this woman's attitude from my first impression is that she did not want to do that for herself. She wanted to do it for the attention she was going to get from the men. That's that fatness reason why you want to go get bigger this and bigger that. And not because you just insecure with what you look like in the mirror.
I
Because a
can
lot
agree with that.
of us are insecure with what we look at in the mirror, what God gave us. But we're not drastically going to change it. We live with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I agree. I believe she was very vindictive.
Yeah,
Very.
and for another man for a woman to have a man do something as personal as help her change her body, that's got to be a whole nother ball game within that woman's head.
I
because
can agree with you.
yeah, that's a whole nother thing in her head. Because now she definitely loves what she has. So every other man will.
So you saying it's kind of like y'all remember the movie Two Can Play That Game with Vivica Fox when
Yep,
she's
Yeah,
yep,
talking
yep.
about when the woman
yeah,
spent all that money on the Negro and he walked past the mirror one day and started acting
mhm,
brand new.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's
yeah.
her all day long.
Yes. And see, that's what I said. I kept telling Lisa, I never seen any of the other videos. All I got was the first impression from the first video that I saw. And it was that funny fake laugh she laughed. I'm gonna lie
Wow.
on that a lot. Because Grandma told me it don't take nothing but 3 seconds to know whether or not you gonna deal with a person or not. Don't take number 3 seconds. And
That's
if you
right.
in their face, if you in their face, it take less than that, technically. But
Wow.
this was just from the video that I heard the feeling all in deep in her when she said that line. When she
Mm-hmm.
did that, I saw a bunch of females I know back in high school.
And now I'm wondering if she did start acting brand new after she got her body done.
Oh, and did.
I think she
I
did.
was watching a couple of videos, even though we covered this when it first came out. You remember we covered it when it first came out, Champagne. And I've
Correct.
been watching other videos and stuff about this situation. And I done read comments and stuff. And a couple of women that has mentioned certain things, especially about her being vindictive after she had that surgery and she became a whole different person. I totally agree with that because sometimes people don't change for the better. They change for the worse.
That's true.
And like I said, I've always thought that once you're not satisfied with what's going on and you change it, you have a better attitude about it.
Right.
So you didn't like her breath, you understand her breath, you have a better attitude about it.
Uh oh.
Yeah,
Now you sound like you in a tunnel, Paula.
Yeah, you
yeah,
sound like you
yeah,
far away, Paula.
yeah. My brother was calling me.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Tell
was
him we
calling me.
on live,
That's
not right
me.
now.
I didn't tell him nothing, heard
8 minutes
that.
after the first
He
officer
hung up.
arrived, Carol gets out of her vehicle and immediately approaches the ambulance as Tyrone is being loaded onto it and asks if Tyrone is okay and trying to ask what happened.
Now remember when they were saying that she said she went immediately? Now they're saying that she made it there while he was being loaded onto the ambulance. So here's my question and my problem, right? With the whole statement, because if you didn't make it there till he was being loaded onto the ambulance, then how could she make it there right away?
Yeah, both of them
Exactly.
don't coincide.
They don't load a person onto an ambulance right away. They
No,
check them. They do There's a whole lot of stuff they do before they remove
before they
that
move
person to
you.
take them.
That's right.
That's correct.
So I'm confused as to how the police said she arrived right away when this right now is saying she didn't arrive until he was being loaded in. It's so many inconsistencies. It's almost like the police don't even have their story straight.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Now I want the officer name that showed up on the scene. Cause what?
And I
So
thought
you're
with
aware, you
situations like
stated.
this. Oh my
Uh
bad.
huh. Go
I thought
ahead.
was I thought with situations like this, it'd be more than like one officer. If they putting it on the radio that somebody is injured or it's been an accident off of a highway, it should have been a lot of police cars there, right along with the ambulance and the fire
Yeah,
department.
we
Especially
don't know
somebody
where
being
they,
hit.
yeah, but we don't know where they at. So cause like here on our state boys, they usually driving by themselves. And then if they need backup, they call. But they always all on the highway. They always on the highway, but they usually by themselves. So it might be depending on where they're at. It could have been two officers in the car already, or one officer in the car, depending on where they were at. That's what I think. So I think if it was the one officer in the car, yeah, it was a lot of BS going on because he was by himself and he radioed for backup, so to speak. But a lot of stuff went on before backup even got there. All the officer did was made sure the boy was breathing
Right.
and called who he had to call. And then when everybody else got there, that's how the scene was not secure. Because
And
I'm
that's
thinking,
still irritating to me. I don't understand why the scene wasn't secured.
but see, I'm
Even to
thinking
block it off, no cones, no nothing. You
if
didn't.
it was two officers, one of them should have been doing that. See, and
Right.
the other one should have been attended. Right, that's what I'm thinking. It wasn't nothing but the one officer.
And then I don't under. So how was she even able to go to the hospital? So generally, when stuff like this happens, don't they take the victim to the hospital and the other person on scene that has information? Don't they immediately go to the police station for questioning?
Of course, especially with a situation like that.
Well,
Yes,
sometimes, especially if it's children or whatever involved, they do allow you to go and follow the ambulance instead of going to the police station. And then they come right to the hospital and get you. See, but they allow you to follow because you got the information, so they allow you to follow. But then when you get there, they're there, and you got to talk to them. Meaning the cop car be behind her while she's behind the ambulance, and soon as she get there, they want to talk to her.
I get that, and yeah, but even in this, with his level of injuries, I can't even see them saying, "Yeah, we'll come talk to you at the hospital." Cause you
I
just told me
agree.
this man stepped out of a moving vehicle.
That's
So
right.
yeah, now you got to make this make sense for me. Logically, you would think those are the steps that should happen. But
Hmm.
in today's world, where we have a man with no arms, legs, feet, fingers, or toes shooting a gun, anything
Yeah.
is possible. So
Anything is possible. And the only
anything.
reason why I say that because when my homegirl was hit by her dude, they didn't let him go to the hospital with us. They took him downtown and took him to the interrogation room. He didn't go to the hospital with us. He wasn't even allowed in the ambulance. So
Mhm.
that's why I say sometimes it depends on the situation whether you will be going downtown, straight downtown, or you can go to the hospital.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I said I'm kind of like confused as to why she was able to go to the hospital with the level of injuries that Dro had. Why wouldn't they immediately take her down to, hey, can you come down to the police department to answer some questions?
Mhm.
Because of the level. We're not talking about, oh, it's verified that he stepped out the car and was walking across the street and got hit by another car. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you don't know what happened. All you have is her statement, and you have this man laying on the ground. A clip that I meant to grab for y'all, but I forgot about it. So on Sunday, um, was episode 2 of Scotty with the baby, right?
Mhm.
So on the episode, they went to Thailand, I think, somewhere over there. But one of her people with her fell out of a window. Not super high up, but high enough up. When they showed the ground, there was blood on the ground where he hit the ground. Concrete.
Mm.
Again, I'm saying, how are you telling me that this man has the level of injuries that he had to his head and there was no blood? But I'm looking on television, on Zeus, at this man that they say just fell out of a window and there is blood where he fell at.
Yeah.
But there's no blood in Droke's. The back of his head didn't crack open, nothing, just nothing.
But they said it was blunt force trauma, but wasn't nothing on the ground, you saying, where he was laying?
Exactly. There was no blood. There was nothing on the ground to cause blunt force trauma. I was always led to believe that in order for there to be blunt force trauma, there has to be something blunt.
Yeah. I done
Yeah,
met you.
The
that's right.
concrete is flat. That's not blunt. Unless you're trying to tell us that he hit his head on the curb, on the edge. But again, where's the blood? And then
It's
in
still gonna
there,
bust
you wouldn't
open.
see a
Mm-hmm.
round circular area. You're gonna
No,
see a
you didn't.
line because the
That's right.
curb is straight. So you're gonna see the straight from the curb. It still doesn't make sense.
And I always thought, I mean, I done met the curb a lot, falling off the handlebars of the bike, falling off
I
the monkey
have to.
bar. I've met it a lot. And generally, you have scrapes from falling from a height to the ground. It's a scrape
Right.
somewhere. Scrape. And if you're saying you came out of a vehicle and a vehicle was moving, you should have some scrapes
Yeah.
somewhere to the front of your body.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Torn
Somewhere to
clothes, ripped clothes.
your clothes should have been torn in certain spots where you hit that ground. Because I've hit the ground a lot. So I know about some hits in the ground in the concrete. Concrete leave nasty burns on you.
I'm
Asphalt
still
leaves
stuck at
nasty burns
no
on you.
damage to the ankles. His ankles, his feet, the lower portion of his
Nothing,
legs,
nothing,
nothing,
nothing to the front, period. And
nothing
how is that impossible to not get bruises or marks
to the
or
front
scratches to the front?
because
And you
you
coming out of
stepped
a
out
moving vehicle. I don't care if you flew out. It's impossible not to get marked to the front of your body. Come on now. Feet, toes, palms of the hands,
knees,
knee.
anywhere else on the head besides just the back. There's no scratches to the side of his face, to the forehead, to the chin, to the neck. There was some blood in the windpipe, but nothing. Not to the shoulders, to the. You should at least have some scrape marks on the arm.
And
If
that's
if
my
anything,
point. That's my point.
nothing.
Somewhere, anywhere. Somewhere, anywhere. But
Okay.
according to the autopsy, nothing, nowhere.
That he jumped out of a moving car, but you pulled up and asked what happened. GPD said that we're going to see body cam footage when you was there the whole time, but in this report it states that you arrived as he was getting into the ambulance. So I don't know. I'm just telling you what we got going on here. Kiara said she did not see Tyrone fall down or lose his footing when he jumped out of the car. On 12:30, I spoke with Kiara Davis over the phone. Kiara said she and Tyrone spent Christmas in the cabin in Gilchrist County. She said she and Tyrone believed they had the cabin rented through Sunday, 12/28, but later realized they had to check out on Saturday, 12/27. Kiara said they left the cabin on Saturday morning and checked into the Fairfield Inn and Suites at approximately 3 o'clock, which we know they got there at 3:08. That's correct. Kiara said at around 5:15, she and Tyrone went to get pizza from Papa John's. After leaving Papa John's, Kiara said she and Tyrone were arguing and she missed her turn to get back to the hotel. So Kiara said she had to do a U-turn near I-75.
What happened between 3:08 and 5?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
That would
lot
be
of
my
time.
question. What
Yeah,
That's
that
a
happened
was
lot of
between
time.
3:08 and 5? Between the
mm-hmm.
time you checked into the hotel. Because remember, they done left the cabin, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
left the cabin because they forgot they had to check out a day early or whatever. So they checking into another hotel. I'm wondering if maybe the argument might have started because somebody didn't realize when they were supposed to check in or out.
Could have been that trivial. Could have been that trivial. But
Because
that's what I'm
according to
saying.
what
She don't know
she's
where she
saying,
at.
yeah, according to what she's saying, um, Lulu told the police that they didn't realize that they needed to check out that day. They were supposed to have it until the next day. But when they realized they had to check out that day, they checked out and went to the hotel. That's how they ended up at the hotel. So now I'm wondering if the argument might have had something to do with the whole mix up of them being in that cabin and when they needed to check out. Like, how you know we didn't have it for another day? We were supposed to be in the cabin all weekend, and now we gotta go stay at this hotel. That wasn't the plan. Y'all know how we do.
Yeah, 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 that could have been, yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what started the whole thing. If it might have been about this cabin mix up.
I would say that's a little trivial, but or being as though she's a snooty woody, I would think she would, you know, wouldn't mind the hotel. She want to spend his money, so she wouldn't pretty much mind the hotel.
I don't think it was minded. So if we are saying she's as persnickety and uppity as she come off with the you did so good,
I can
you
see that's
know,
what I'm
with
saying,
all
and
that.
that's why I was agreeing with you that it did start at the hotel because think about it, how many other folks did she encounter
Yeah.
at the hotel?
But also think about how a person that uppity and persnickety may act if their reservation got messed up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, she could,
That's
she could.
right.
Like I say, it could be that trivial,
And it
but
could have started there and just
I'm
added.
thinking, I'm thinking
Hmm.
that's what I said. Now it could have started with that, and then once they walked in there, and the receptionist might have been sexy, or somebody might have had some stuff going on, and she was oozing it herself, and she made one wrong look or one wrong move, and it elevated from
You
there.
still think it's the thoughtness. It's just the thoughtness activated, and that's what kicked all this out.
Either way, from the beginning to the yes, because that's like giving the baby a whole bunch of candy. They're gonna keep on eating it. They ain't gonna stop. They're gonna have a stomach ache. They're gonna throw up. If she got, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
y'all, listen. I need y'all to let me know in the chat. And if you're not in the chat and you're just watching in the background, have a conversation with the people with you and let me know. Do you feel like Lulu thoughtness kicked in and that is why they got into the argument? Or do you think the argument had to do with the mix up with the cabin? Have a conversation amongst yourselves and about what you think this argument was about. At the end of the
Now,
day, a lot of
hmm
this is going to be determined and understood when we figure out this argument, which nobody is releasing what it was about.
hmm And
well,
but
I'm
see,
gonna tell y'all. I believe that the argument was about one of them going through somebody's phone or a phone call came through.
could be, could be.
Okay.
But this is what I say. Back to what I said. She's new now. She brand new. She ain't the old one. She brand new. And we
I
all gonna
get
put
it.
on
I get
the
all
new.
that, but I believe they got into an argument about what she was on punishment for. Okay, whatever, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, whatever that was, which I
And
believe that it was about someone else because when she got that body did, she thought she was a hot and ready.
and that's my
So
point.
I'm
That's
really believing that it
all
was a
that.
phone call that came through,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
'Cause
got and it got heated.
she had help. I keep saying she had help. That woman said they pushing out the car. So I keep saying, yeah, it's another somebody somewhere that did something else. But yeah, I'm
So, do
all gonna
y'all
do it.
think it's another guy involved in this?
Of course I do. Of
I,
course I do.
I don't know if she, one of them pans and vans or whatnot. I don't know nothing about it. But it's another person for sure. Now it could be a girl. Who knows? She might like them both. We don't know what her agenda is for real. But
But you think it's
yeah,
definitely
there's
somebody
some.
else?
Yes, I definitely think it was somebody else. And what I
Okay.
do on the top of that, I don't think it was really A1 plan. Not A1 plan, because
Right.
all
I see what,
all
yeah.
murders is never A1 plan. So I don't think it was A1 plan. And that other person that really got it going on, like Nisi say, that phone call could have been a, is you ready? Or did you do it yet? Or is we gonna go through with it? Or something of that nature. Because that U-turn and that time and hit up the bank account, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. They say you had a little extra help.
Yeah. Look, Progressive said, let's not forget she is pre-law. Plot thickens. She may have had a cop sneaky link, allegedly.
Oh,
Oh,
and that's probably that one cop that came to the scene that controlled everything.
and here we go
Say it
with the
That's
again,
why it all
Progressive.
got
Say it
messed
again.
up. She
here go
probably
Yes,
sneaking with the link, the
I
cop.
agree,
there
bro.
you
I
go. There
agree.
you go. Tell them 100. 100. Yes,
That's
I
where the
agree
one
with you.
cop fit in at.
See? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kiara said
And
around the
let's
time
get a
of the
bit.
U-turn, Tyrone opened the door and jumped out of the vehicle while she was driving. Now, earlier, she said that he opened the door as she stopped to do the U-turn and he didn't realize that she was still going. Now she said he jumped out of the vehicle while she was driving. Kiara said she continued to drive and stopped at a Circle K gas station and waited for Tyrone to walk to her vehicle. I don't know about you, but somebody jumping out of a car, I'm not going to pull off and wait. I need to see what happened, but maybe it's just me. Kiara said she began seeing emergency vehicles driving to the area where Tyrone jumped out of the car, so she drove back to that area and spoke with EMS and GPD officers. Kiara agreed to meet for an in-person interview at a later time. After speaking with Kiara over the phone, Detective Quinn and I began canvassing for a surveillance video. They got videos from Papa John's, they got video from Fairfield Inn, and they spoke with the manager at Fairfield Inn. For documentation purposes, I'm using the timestamps on the surveillance videos, but it should be noted that the timestamp on Fairfield's surveillance system is 6 minutes ahead. The video from Fairfield Inn shows Tyrone and Kiara checking into the hotel. Kiara's vehicle is parked under the actual time, under the awning at the front doors of the lobby, and Kiara exits the driver's seat and walks into the lobby at 15:04, which is actually 14:58 videos, but it should be noted. I don't know about you, but somebody jumping out of a car, I'm not going to pull off and wait. I need to see what happened, but maybe it's just me. Kiara said she began seeing emergency vehicles driving to the area where Tyrone jumped out of the car, so she drove back to that area and spoke with EMS and GPD officers. Kiara agreed to meet for an in-person interview at a later time. After speaking with Kiara over the phone, Detective Quinn and I began canvassing for a surveillance video. They got videos from Papa John's, they got video from Fairfield Inn, and they spoke with the manager at Fairfield Inn. For documentation purposes, I'm using the timestamps on the surveillance videos, but it should be noted that the timestamp on Fairfield's surveillance system is 6 minutes ahead. The video from Fairfield Inn shows Tyrone and Kiara checking into the hotel. Kiara's vehicle is parked under the actual time, under the awning at the front doors of the lobby, and Kiara exits the driver's seat and walks into the lobby at 15:04, which is actually 14:58 because of 6 minutes difference. At 15:05, Tyrone exits the front passenger seat of the vehicle shirtless. He opens the rear hatch and the rear passenger door. He removes a backpack from the back seat and walks to the rear of the vehicle where he puts a shirt on and then enters the lobby at 15:07. Tyrone appears to have no issues walking. After checking in, Tyrone and Kiara exit the lobby at 15:13, which is 3:13. Kiara gets into the driver's seat of the vehicle while Tyrone removes a bag and backpack from the rear hatch. Tyrone then appears to get more items from the front passenger seat area. Kiara then drives away as Tyrone is closing the front passenger door at 3:15. Kiara drives south towards 37th Boulevard and Southwest Archer Road. Tyrone goes back into the hotel and is seen.
Press pause.
They beefing. They beefing. They
So
arguing.
they separated. She drove off. He went in the hotel. What the hell?
He ain't even had no shirt on, so she probably done snatched him up. She probably abusive, been pulling on him. He ain't even had no shirt on.
Now that's the other question that I had too, because why would you just randomly be, and we know guys do this sometime, right? Is this, well, I can't say that because I've seen videos with Dro with his shirt off, so that might be a normal occurrence for him. But according to what she's saying, they checked in, he went in, and Lulu drove off. Where did she go?
Uh-huh.
Remember, it said that she drove off while he was getting something out of the car.
Exactly.
So they were beefing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, they was beefed out. They was arguing,
Mm-hmm.
So
honey.
you remember what I said when we need to know what happened at the hotel to know when the argument started?
And you're not supposed to know where you at, right? We on vacation, right?
Yeah.
So she not really supposed to know what she in, right?
So where she drive off to?
To go
Right.
get that third person.
Mm.
So
Gotta go
then
back
this
to
would
the
mean,
other person.
Niecy, you correct. The argument had to start at the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because they were already
Exactly.
arguing by the time, according to this, they're already arguing by the time they made it to the hotel.
I
Yeah.
said that phony ass laugh. I said that.
Uh-huh. I
And
told
she
you
kept
that stuff
going.
started at that cabin,
She
all
kept
the way to that
going.
hotel. To the
Yeah.
time he got out the car, he mad,
Mhm.
she mad, she done drove off, and that's where I believe that third person came into play at.
Because
But see,
she
this
That's
is
didn't
the
even, this the second time she drove off on him in less than 3 hours.
that's
mm-hmm.
right. That's
Because
right.
like
Mm-hmm.
you just said, Nisi, the lady said while he was trying to get something out of the vehicle, she drove
Mm-hmm.
off.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you
It
got a habit of doing this.
Yep,
hello.
that hot and ready was piping hot when she pulled off. Smoke was
And this is
coming from
what I'm
her.
saying. Right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And see that make it more sense to that everything that went on between that time and the time she threw him out the car.
Right. All right, let's continue.
Going up to his room. At 5:08, Kiara returns to the hotel and parks outside of the lobby. At 5:17, Tyrone exits the hotel and enters the front passenger.
What was she doing? Where did she go? I need to know where Lulu went when she left the hotel. Who you go see? Who you
And
go talk
Right.
to?
I'm quite sure that was part of that 4 hour interrogation.
Which
And
makes
hold
me
on a
feel like
second,
she
because
the one who. Mm-hmm.
she came back and sat outside for almost 20 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you
On
Mm-hmm.
the
talking
phone.
to?
She was on the
That's what I'm
phone.
saying. On the phone.
Yeah, she was on that phone.
To the next person, whoever she with the U-turn and went and got.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I said. She gave him the ketamine somewhere up in there. And it didn't take effect until he got back in that car with her. And then they fought some more. And she probably rushed over, knocked the out of him, picked up the U-turn person, and they pushed him out the car.
Not
I I,
realizing
be,
she
I
hit him
believe
as
that
hard.
not that
No,
hit in
she
the head
knew
part came later after
it
well,
did.
since we going in this
It
sequence. I
did.
believe
That's
that
what I'm
came a
saying.
little
It
bit
came.
later, like when
It
they
did.
left the pizza place. I
It
believe
did.
that head injury came after they left that pizza place.
And I'm agreeing with that. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
But
it would have
if he
had to
wasn't
because he wouldn't have been able to
Yeah,
move with that
that's
head
right,
right.
injury.
but that's what
And
I'm
they was
saying. If he
arguing
wasn't
at the
a,
pizza place.
but if he wasn't a regular drug abuser to be abusing those types of drugs, then it got slipped on him somewhere in there where she was able to give him something to drink wherever he drank. So she slipped
Either
it in there.
that or in the hospital because they did say ketamine is used on severe trauma patients
Yeah, so they put the
as a
hospital
pain
probably
reliever.
gave him that.
But they
Yeah.
don't know. They
We
can't
find out.
confirm.
Yeah, yeah, we did find it out because I believe that's what the was to get him groggy.
But so far, he's still
And gave
living.
him another attitude.
As far as this lady is talking so far, he's still living. He done got his
Yeah.
stuff out the car. She done
Yeah.
pulled off. She done came back
Mhm.
and sat in the car. So we
Also,
finna
I
follow
want to
this
know who
timeline.
he talked to
And think
for the
about it. If he
time that
had
she
some,
was gone. Who did he talk to while Lulu was gone?
Yeah, cause he
but
was
that's what I'm
piping
saying.
hot.
Think
He was
about it. If he
upset.
had right, he had
Hmm.
that attitude, but he would have known if he had something else in his system that wasn't used to being in his system, which gave him another attitude because he figured out she did it. It's a bigger thing to
Look, y'all.
Okay, now.
Paula said she poisoned him. That look ain't no other ain't no other
Hey, I wasn't talking
explanation.
classy.
look. That big divorce said big girl button a smile ain't nothing but a hoe.
Paula said she auditioning for the next Lifetime Movie Network movie.
Child,
No,
child, child,
hey, if it's about this third person, she probably gonna be on For My Man.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, yep. Because she did it all for her man.
Seat of the
Sure.
vehicle. This is
My
important because remember the
side
hotel lobby video is
piece.
6 minutes off. So that's 5:17, but it's actually 5:11. Tyrone was not seen on video from the time he entered the hotel room after checking in and is exiting after Kiara arrived. So they sent a link for this video. The surveillance video from Papa John's, and they got the address. Tyrone entered the store at 5:15. He places an order and he exits the store at 5:18. We know that's the time of the pizza box. Tyrone walks back into Papa John's at 5:36. He picks up his order and he exits at 5:37. So he left Papa John's at 5:37. He's found on the roadway at 5:46. So we know something happened in those 9 minutes. Tyrone was carrying a box of pizza and a pack of chicken wings as he walked out of the store. The vehicle was not parked in view of any cameras at Papa John's. Detective Quinn and I both went to Circle K, which is the one on Archer Road. They collected surveillance video. The Circle K surveillance video shows Kiara's vehicle turn north off of Southwest Archer Road and immediately turn east into the Circle K parking lot at 5:44. Kiara drives in front of the store and parks her vehicle near the sidewalk on Archer Road. This is important. You left Papa John's at 5:36. They see her vehicle at 5:44. So now the window has closed. So something happened between 5:36 and 5:44. So that's 8 minutes. Kiara drives in the front of the store and parks her vehicle on the sidewalk facing northwest at Southwest Archer Road. Throughout the whole time Kiara's vehicle is at Circle K, nobody is seen entering or exiting her vehicle, which means there was nobody else in the vehicle. So I want to state that. At
Right there.
5:49 and 5:50, emergency vehicles are seen on their way to the scene. So then Kiara exits the parking lot traveling east on Southwest Archer Road, and then Kiara arrives, her vehicle is seen traveling back west on Southwest Archer Road toward the scene.
Okay, but wait.
And parks her vehicle near the
Did how long? So did they say? Because I might have missed it. Did they say they saw her drive down the road and go straight to the Circle K?
Yes, that means she already hit that boy in the head. Since it wasn't nobody saying entering out the vehicle or anything like that, that means she hit that boy in his head with that bottle. She hit him in the head. She
Right.
did.
But my question is,
And
when
she
they're
said you
talking
took the
about the
phone away from the
surveillance
scene.
footage on the
Right.
street, is the
Right.
surveillance footage, does it show her going down the street and straight to Circle K? Or does it show her, or does it not capture whether or not she went straight to Circle K or made a stop or what? That's what I
What?
don't
Well,
know.
I thought it just said that she went when she that she went straight to the Circle K. I thought
Mm-hmm.
they said it was an 8 minute time lapse between the time that they left the pizza place and from the time he got out the car. And she did say that she went straight to that Circle K. But she
Did
sat
the
at
Mm-hmm.
that Circle K
I
and did
know, but
nobody get in or out the car.
did the
Yeah, but
video footage capture her going straight to the Circle K, or is this her testimony?
Oh, got you on
mm-hmm.
that.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
rewind it a
Got
little
you.
bit because I didn't
Rewind it.
hear it.
Rewind it.
at 5:36. He picks up his order and he exits at 5:37. So he left Papa John's at 5:37. He's found on the roadway at 5:46. So we know something happened in those 9 minutes. Tyrone was carrying a box of pizza and a pack of chicken wings as he walked out of the store. The vehicle was not parked in view of any cameras at Papa John's. Detective Quinn and I both went to Circle K, which is the one on Archer Road. They collected surveillance video. The Circle K surveillance video shows Kiara's vehicle turn north off of Southwest Archer Road and immediately turn east into the Circle K parking lot at 5:44. Kiara drives in front of the store and parks her vehicle near the sidewalk on Archer Road. This is important. You left Papa John's at 5:36. They see her vehicle at 5:44. So now the window has closed. So something happened between 5:36 and 5:44. So that's 8 minutes. Kiara drives in the front of the store and parks her vehicle on the sidewalk facing northwest at Southwest Archer Road. Throughout the whole time Kiara's vehicle is at Circle K, nobody is seen entering or exiting.
Welcome to the stage, Father Locke.
Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you for welcoming
Father
me. Hello, everybody. How
Luck.
y'all doing tonight?
Hello,
What's
hello.
going on? What's going on?
So glad to have you in the city on tonight. Look, I call myself trying to be special, right? Cause you know me. So I call myself trying to stream from OBS and bring my panel from StreamYard into OBS. Everything was working perfectly
Uh huh.
until all of a sudden everybody started staticking. And they couldn't hear nothing on the screen. I
Oh
said, that's what
wow.
I get trying to be doggone creative doing stuff. But you know I'm going to figure it out. So we came over to StreamYard and said, you know what, let's just do the panel in
Do
StreamYard.
what
So
we
we
do. Do it
back
how we
at
do
it.
it.
We back at it dealing with Lulu and
Yeah, I
Dro.
was listening Empress, I was at work. So I had to listen from the shadows until I got home. So I saw you
Uh-huh.
when you first went and then I watched it for a while. Then that's when you said, I'll see y'all later, ta ta. And I was like, damn, she gone already. Then I got the message telling me we back on. So I was like, by the time
Uh-huh.
I get home, she'll still be on that way I can join the panel.
Yeah.
Yes, you know I
So
was home.
glad to have you. Finna jump back in it. You ready? Let's
Now
go.
fill me in. What's
Pre-
going on? What's going on? Yep, I'm ready because I got a little bit,
So the only thing that we've covered
just not
right
enough. So
now,
I need to hear some stuff.
we got what matter of fact, I'm gonna let Paula and Nisi give you a recap of what we done learned today.
Go ahead.
Well, you want me to? Okay. Well,
Remember,
hey, Father Luck,
Okay, what's going
I love
I know like I love you too.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Joining the Lock family. I saw you are my new lady Lock, and I appreciate your subscription, my dear.
But of course,
you.
We are
Our
family.
family.
Always and forever.
Well, so far we are going over from the time lapse, the time that they're talking about from the time that they left the cabin until they
But yeah,
checked into the hotel. And now we're at the time
okay,
lapse where he didn't. By this time, they didn't went to the
okay.
hotel. He got out the car without his shirt on, and evidently you could see they were in the heat of an argument. She ends up driving off while he was trying to get his stuff out the car at the hotel. She's
mhm.
gone for 20 minutes. She come back and pick him up,
Mm.
and they go to the chicken plot, the
That
chicken
means she
spot.
sat outside the place for what? How many minutes? She sat outside the hotel first for a minute before he
I
came out.
said that was 20
Okay,
minutes. She
okay,
was on the
20
phone with somebody. Yeah, that's what I'm
minutes.
talking about. She was on the
That's
phone with somebody. That's
okay,
the 20
okay.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he comes out and they goes
So who
to
is
the chicken
okay?
place, the pizza place. Okay. When they get to the chicken place now, they
Okay.
still in the heat of the moment. So from the time that they leave that chicken place and get to the spot up under the bridge, that's 8 minutes. It's like 8 minute time lapse. And mind you, there is no camera at the chicken spot. Okay? There's no camera. But they now I don't understand that part because then it said hold on, Father
Wow.
Lot, because then it said that it was a five. She left there at 5:46. How y'all know she left there at 5:46 unless y'all done looked at some telephone records or something that quick? Because how y'all know she left the police place at 5:46? But in between that time, it was an 8 minute time lapse from the time they left the pizza place until he got out that car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I
So
think the
what
pizza
happened in
place
between
do
them
have
8 minutes?
camera because they said that they picked them
Oh, she
coming
said on
in,
that
coming to
highway.
get
She said
the
on that highway. My bad, y'all. That was my
picking them
mistake.
coming in to get the pizza. So
Yeah, that was my
we
bad.
have deduced that the argument had to have started at the cabin because by the time
Yeah.
they get to the hotel, they're already arguing. They're already
Yeah.
upset. They're already into it. Like Nisi said, he's getting his stuff out the vehicle. She drives off while he's getting stuff out the vehicle still.
Mm-hmm.
And she stays gone for
Mm.
what? Almost 2 hours. There's no
Mm-hmm.
discussion as to where she went for those 2 hours, where she was, who she was talking to, did she pick up somebody? There's nothing about where she was. He was in the room while there's no discussion about who he talked to during those
Mm-hmm.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
because I know he
Mm-hmm.
called one of his boys to tell him about the
Okay.
argument that they just
Yeah.
had after
And
Mm-hmm.
he
he,
planned this whole
Or something under
weekend for
those
her.
lines.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I
he,
know she called somebody too. So
Yep.
hey, why everybody coming out on social media, all these so-called friends, nobody knows what these discussions were about while they were in the meat of a heart. That's again, go back to just human nature. Human nature is if I'm into it with my significant other and I'm in a strange place, I'm calling someone familiar. That's just
Yep.
human nature.
Human nature.
mm-hmm.
You absolutely right.
Period.
Yep.
That's
Now,
just
if
human
you guys
nature.
go
Yeah.
back to when Champagne did this story the very first time that it happened, remember he did make a phone call because the best friend came up there, the one guy with the dreads, and said that Tyrone called him when they was arguing. He
Oh,
said
really?
that, and
He
remember
did
he
say
said it was
that.
going to
That's
be
right.
more information that comes after that.
Mm.
We
Okay.
still waiting on the more
So do he know
information.
what the argument was about?
Is he
I
so
from what he how he was
Because if he was
explaining
there
it.
during the midst of the argument, he would be a key point to add.
Well,
if
he was
he's
on the
so called
phone with
been
him. He
foolish?
said that he was on the phone with him, and
Oh.
he said y'all Lulu ain't who y'all think she is.
Mm-mm.
He said
Mm-mm.
that. So he was saying that they were having problems and all that, and he would be the one that drove a car.
For the next show, what I'm gonna do is go back
And
and
that's why I
find
said,
that clip with the friend
Hmm.
speaking because I know which one you're
okay,
talking about. You're talking about the friend that came out and said he don't care what lie that she done came out with. At the
Yeah,
end of the day, he left with her and didn't come back. That's all he care about, and she got to answer for it.
that's right.
Ooh.
That's right.
Ooh.
That's right.
He said
And
he don't want to
Ooh.
hear nothing. Y'all can listen to all them explanations if y'all want to, but at this point it's street, and he don't give a damn about none of them explanations. His friend
yeah.
didn't come back home, and she got to answer for it.
Oh,
Hey, hey.
all right then.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I remembered that because that Champagne had that video for when we first went over this.
Uh
Well, you know,
huh.
friends, you know how friends are. You probably told, don't you buy her no Wu Tang and Wu Tang. She don't deserve it.
Right.
And he probably didn't listen to his friend.
Hold on, y'all. Who's to say that they was
mm.
together before this trip? I
And that's
believe
why I
that
said
this
he would
trip.
be a key.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Father Lot.
That could be a possibility too. No, I was saying because if he was on the phone with him and knowing what was going on, having a key idea of what's going on, he would be one of the best people at key points in finding out, the detriment of this argument because they was on the phone and I'm sure he told him about it. Like, they need to question the friend. That would add more to what they need to find out because he would have it gives a sense of what this big or how big the argument was. What could it have possibly been about? You know what I'm
Fa-
saying?
Father Lot,
That
the way
would
this
cause
case is
all of
going,
this.
they not trying to interview nobody, okay? Because that friend got on live and said it. That's testimony within itself. So why the police department ain't bring him in and talk to him?
Well, you know, a lot of
That's what I'm
friends in
saying.
them
Like,
don't want to talk to the police. You know better. A lot of
then
friends in them ain't gonna talk to the police, but they will talk to social media.
But then you got to understand too, when it comes to this caliber of guys, these straight niggas, like these
Yeah,
ain't,
yeah, yeah.
so even if like
yeah,
from the dudes that I know who are street, even if they talking to they dudes about their girl, they homies about their girl, they ain't going into super detail. Like, this is what the argument was.
no, we
They
don't
gonna
know
give
at
you
all.
she
That's just
tripping right now,
that's
man. She on
negativity.
one. She been on one all morning, man. We been arguing
Right.
all morning. But they
You
don't
don't
give
want
like
nobody else cutting your grass.
details.
Yeah, you don't want nobody else cutting your grass. You care too much, they be over there with
No,
their
it don't
line.
be no. No, we don't.
They
No.
move each other all like that. Yeah, no. but he told his boy the gist of the situation,
Yeah.
so his boy would know. And for him to say that the statement that he said, that's male nature when it comes to a best friend. Would you tell him
Right.
follow law? Tell him about it, follow law, because I say that about my
I agree.
girlfriends. You feel me? You left, I don't know, you left with her,
I
and
say
now
that.
you
Yeah,
yeah. So when he take it to that note,
yeah,
he didn't talk to the police. He's trying to take care of business.
Right.
So yeah, and like I say, his
yeah.
testimonial was to the internet. That was his testimonial. That's all he got to say about it. That's it.
Yeah.
So maybe he's
Because
uncooperative
yeah, I
with the
mean,
police.
and the fact that he said that she not who everybody thinks she is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
so right now, that's where we made it to in the story. So she's still continuing, but right now we've made it to the part where they've left getting the food. We know they was arguing when they left the cabin.
mm-hmm.
Potentially the argument from the cabin could have been about whatever the punishment was. It could have
Mm-hmm.
been about her thoughtness activating. It could have been
Mm-hmm.
about her what did I say the other option was about the because the cabin itself, they thought they had it rented for a certain amount of time, but their
Right.
reservation was up that day, so they had to leave the cabin and check into a hotel for the remainder of the vacation. So I said the argument itself
mm,
could have been the fact that the reservation was messed up. You know how women can be. You got me out here. We got to check into somewhere else, and we were supposed to be here for the whole weekend. How you mess up? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But let's continue.
like
Vehicle,
maybe it started
which
off
means
from
there
that
was
and then just
nobody else
escalated
in
to
the
other
vehicle.
things,
I
you
want to
know.
state that.
Yep. Said follow law.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. That's what Nisi and Paula said as well. That it could have started with the cabin thing, and because that was a place of contention and they were already angry, it just escalated and escalated. So
It
everything
just
else,
escalated
the
to
yeah,
yeah.
that matter of fact, by the time they got that pizza and that chicken, they could have been arguing over pepperoni. To be honest with you,
Really.
they could have been arguing
Right.
because the cheese around the crust was too dark. At that,
Really.
when you get to the point, and I'm not defending her actions, but when you get to a point in a
No,
relationship
but
where
that's
you're
just
that
another thing of
angry and
human nature.
frustrated and all of that stuff,
Every
it's
little thing is
natural
a
that every little
frustration.
thing compounds on top of that, and you get
Yep.
more and more irritated.
From the way he chewed the pizza.
He could have
Yep.
called her name, she would have took it wrong. I swear, like, yeah, I understand that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He
But
could have tried to touch her, and she could have took it wrong in that moment.
and she sure
Yep.
doing a whole lot of
Just
driving to
because
have
he
a broke foot.
Yeah.
And
that's
she's
what I'm
normally
saying. And the
not the
fact that
one
they keep
who's
saying she
driving.
never drove.
She never drove, as in never.
He drives her. They said
He
They
he
said
drive.
she
always
never
drives.
drive.
Yeah. They said
So
he never, but she sure doing all this driving on the day he get hit in the back of the head though.
And
Mm,
disappear for almost 2 hours.
That's what's
mm.
crazy about it.
that's
But
what
let's
make me
continue.
think.
Let's
Yeah,
see
let's
what else
continue.
finna happen.
At 5:49 and 5:50, emergency vehicles are seen on their way to the scene. So then Kiara exits the parking lot traveling east on Southwest Archer Road, and then Kiara arrives, her vehicle is seen traveling back west on Southwest Archer Road toward the scene. The next day cameras Burger King and the Exxon. And there's
We not giving her leeway. She don't get leeway at all. We're just talking about human behavior and how
At all.
arguments escalate. Not saying that she is anyway justified in anything that she did or any behaviors that was exhibited. we're specifically talking from the aspect of how anger
at
can
all.
go from simple anger to uncontrollable anger, where every little thing that happens irritates you to the point where you like, hey, it's the pepperoni is curled too much. I'm cussing at you. I'm gonna give you an example. So for those of you who know, I lost my granddaughter 2 years ago, March 14th. My daughter was 8 months pregnant. When she called me, the baby didn't have a heartbeat. So on the 14th that just passed, we went to the hotel to celebrate, took kids and all of that. When I tell you this was like the most horrible but fun stay ever, the sinks was clogged the whole weekend. We didn't check out to
Oh
Tuesday because
no.
when one day we was supposed to check out, we had ice storm. The next day we was supposed to check out, it was snowstorm.
Mm.
So it was clogged. The TV didn't work one day. The pool was freezing cold. We couldn't have no towels, no
Oh my
change of
goodness.
sheets. It was only one person in there, and with the hotel because it was the Holiday Inn. So when we get to the front, one of the dudes up there, his wife going off because she mad about the whole experience. He looked at her and said, "Why you mad at me? Because they fridge didn't work." It's so easy when you angry to every little thing just trigger something else, just trigger something else, just trigger to the point where now you done reacted and it's too late. You done did something that now you can't take back.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
depending on who
my
you
thing
acting like
is,
that
I think
towards, that
she's
person
used to
get
acting
very
like this though.
angry.
But and I
Yeah,
get
that's
your
why I said
point.
I
I
think
get
especially
I
the
get your
company.
point on that. But like I said, I really believe they got into an argument about a phone call, her talking to somebody she ain't supposed to be talking to. So you already know Lulu gets no leeway on Champagne secrets. Not at all. Not at all. We're just talking about
Mm-mm.
possibilities and maybes right about now. But
Yeah,
me
no.
myself personally, I believe they got into it over a phone call or past indiscrepancies, and they just got brought up again.
I could have been here too.
Uh,
Could have been
all
here
that
too.
sounds
So we
good.
got
Yeah.
punishment. Oh, go ahead, Paula.
I say all that sounds plausible to go around the same thing I'm fitting it in. I'm fitting it in the fact that she got a new body. And with that new body she got a new attitude. It's like when my mama gave my daughter a phone, she was 13. She turned her attitude totally changed to like she was 15. I had to take the phone from her
Yeah.
because she thought she was older than what she is. See? So that's what I'm saying. Once she got that body and got settled into that body, she did little inconsistencies that peeved me. Maybe stuck her little titties out when she. Or maybe
Uh-uh.
Maybe we should go back and
maybe
check.
still,
Like tonight, when we get off for tomorrow,
yeah,
we need to go and check to see when she got her body done. Like, how long ago
yeah,
was it that
because
she got her body done?
because that's what I'm saying. It's just something about women that get men to do that for them. That's a whole different another body frame of mind. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. It means she wanted that more than she wanted that
Because it
man.
makes me feel like now I agree with you, Paula, because it seems like now that she got her body done, he was no longer appeasing to her.
Bingo.
Because
He's in
now
the way.
he don't fit what she looks like now.
He's in the way. And perhaps, like you said, that lawyer itch in her might have just turned that hillbilly policeman eye when she got them new papas.
All I want
Never
to
know.
know is what
I think that's
detective,
what really
what
put her
what
on
police
superpowers.
officer called you later on after you are involved, and no matter how you want to slice it, he was in a car with her. It don't. It was them too. So how the hell she able to go home, get herself together, and call you later about an incident that needed to be handled right then and there? How about that?
Yeah,
Cause
no.
ain't no evidence.
Yeah, no, no. Ain't no.
Ain't no evidence, and she drove off. Y'all gotta remember, this girl is a law student. Her driving off could have been part of the play. because
Yeah,
it
That was
isolates
good.
you from the scene of the crime. So
yeah.
they would have to, at this point, now prove your involvement, because when the police and the witnesses arrived on the scene, you weren't there.
How about she played the whole night because she's a law student and she knew exactly. That's what I'm saying. Playing but not playing.
Yeah.
Because she knew exactly
I
what she was
believe it
doing.
was. I believe that's why. I believe that's why she did it. Well, I'll reverse that. That's why I believe she did it, because the way that everything got set up is the way like somebody in law would do it. So it everything lawfully will get executed, but I will never get found for it because I did exactly what it took and only what was needed to get it noted, but me not be arrested or me being looked at for it. And that's so what it looks like. The time, the way that the thing went out, it's almost like the whole incident with the argument and stuff was planned to happen. Was
Yeah, but
planned
this
to
is
happen.
giving real Tyler Perry law student though. Like it's giving real
It is.
Tyler
It
Perry
really
lawyer,
is.
because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
listen,
yeah,
nah,
yeah.
no, y'all gotta follow me for real, because every time I see a lawyer in a Tyler Perry movie, especially one that's a black woman, she always dumb, ignorant, and delusional. Like
Nothing.
she, when you look at Far from Grace, the lawyer, I said, oh, she going to jail, like under the jail. When you look at Sisters, what's the main lawyer name on there? That's
Andy, Andy.
Andy, dumb as a
Mhm.
box of damn
Oh,
rocks.
see, I want to know because
Every
I don't
single
watch his
time.
stuff.
Oh, horrible. Every time he got a woman lawyer in one of his movies, shows, or whatever, they damn dumb. That's what this is kind of giving me. Because even as a law student, this the lie you came up with?
That's what
And
I'm
what's
saying. Like
even
it's
worse
like
is they believed it.
you didn't execute. That's what I said. She came up with a lie that was feasible enough for them to pick up and take away with because they. I mean, what reason would they need to not make her a point of contention? And her being a lawyer does not make her above the law or someone who would not commit a crime and break the law. And it's almost like this is why they're not trying to make her
Amen.
a point because of her being a part of law.
Mm,
I'm trying to tell you, these little hick towns, and I'm gonna say it again. These little
mhm.
towns be having their own way of how they do stuff.
Yeah, they
They
Okay,
do
operate
because I live
you
in
different.
one.
have to
I
look
live
at
in one.
that fact,
Yeah, they operate different.
especially
They
when you
sure
know
do. I
somebody
live in
who
a hick
knows
town. I
somebody
live
in
out
these
here
little hick towns.
in a hick town in Illinois, and that's exactly how they act. They make their own rules. They only do what they want to for who they wish to, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just a fact.
And hold
Mm-hmm.
on, y'all. It seemed like Dro didn't know that area, but she did. Cause look how many times she pulled off. Look how many times she left and how long she was gone when she pulled off. So she
Hence why
knew
I
she knew
asked
her
y'all,
area.
do y'all think Dro planned this trip? Or do
Or
you
do
think
she?
she did? That's
She the
why I
one. She,
asked.
I believe, she suggested to Dro to where they should go to the cabinet because she is familiar with the area. And how do we not know that girl ain't from there or then chilled there or know somebody who knows somebody? Once that body got done and you going to school, ain't no telling how many connections you done got in certain areas and where you stumping your feet at. Let's get it. Cause see, at the end of the day, it don't take no rocket scientist to know if it wasn't nobody in the car with them, and from that 8 minutes from the time she left that pizza place, and they connected on that highway. That mean, girl, you hit you the one hit that boy in the head.
You the main cause of the situation. I agree with that
That's
100.
right.
I agree with that 100.
Well, y'all know I've been saying it from the beginning. I think it's
Let's
You right,
continue. Let's see where else we finna go, y'all.
No surveillance video, so they say, of evidentiary value. It seems to me I would have got the video and put it on file. But this is what they say. They also canvassed the area for the homeless man in the photo provided by Tyrone's sister, who may have witnessed the incident, but I was unable to locate him. I spoke with multiple homeless individuals in the area, and none of them knew anything about the incident. When I arrived back at GPD, I reviewed the surveillance videos and noticed a video uploaded from Country Inn and Suites. This video showed Kiara's vehicle traveling west on Archer Road and doing the U-turn at I-75 southbound entrance ramp, and then traveling east on Archer Road. In this video, it appears the vehicle's front passenger door begins to open near completion of the U-turn. After completing the U-turn, Kara's vehicle is seen traveling west out of the camera's view. Nobody is seen exiting the vehicle. A group of vehicles that were stopped at the light traveling east began driving when the eastbound light turns green, which means there's vehicles in the far lane, nowhere near the lane that he is in. The video was recorded from a phone viewing.
Bullshit. She did something to that
Okay,
boy. Because, let me tell you why. Because, according to what she just said,
okay.
somebody saw the vehicle passenger door open while she was making a U-turn.
Yeah.
So by the time she gets back to the straight to head under the overpass, the door is already
They
open.
open.
Sounds to me like she did whatever she did, and she might have reached over to disengage that door in that turn. So that's why when they saw the turn, now this just me. I ain't no forensic specialist. I just feel like Dexter is my best friend. That's all I'm saying. But it seems to me like if she would have disengaged that door after she did what she did, made that turn, door is disengaged, she on that straight, it's already disengaged for her to push him out of that vehicle. Whatever happened in that vehicle before she got to that U-turn. And
All
that's
right.
why that door was disengaged.
Yep.
That's why I said I think
Preparing to
that's the reason why the
already
door was
push him
open.
out. Preparing to
Because
push him out.
ain't no way
And
you
that's
said you
what she
pulled
left
off, he
the scene
dropped
because she
out.
had to get
You
rid
just
of the
gonna keep
murder
driving
weapon.
with a door open?
Right.
Mm-mm.
That baby was already almost unconscious already. He was already unconscious.
And
Period.
that's why she left the scene because she had to get rid
Period. And
of
ain't
the
no
murder
other
weapon.
explanation to use in this scenario but a period. Period. That's it.
Yeah,
That she I'm
he
telling
was
y'all.
already there. And
I
whatever
Cause
really
she
that
hit
think
don't
him with
she
was
did
still
this.
in that car.
that don't even
So
make
yeah,
sense. So you're telling me
yeah,
that you just riding around with the passenger door open.
no.
What sense does that make?
Mm-mm.
Well, Champagne,
They
that do
don't.
go to show
That's
you
what
that the
no.
cop did some Harlem night shit. Sunshine, I ain't coming home when he seen her. Cause he ain't do nothing.
Had to. He ain't even try.
He ain't do nothing. Okay, let's get
Mm-mm.
that together.
Starting with
He didn't
security
even
cameras
practice. He didn't
and
even
letting
practice
her
lie with
leave.
her.
And let her leave the scene.
Say crack
Let
the
her
law.
leave the
He
scene.
didn't practice lie with her at all.
Mm-mm.
Neither one of them. They didn't even try.
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
The monitor.
Mm-mm.
I went to Country Inn Suite to review the video, but I was unable to locate it on their system. I later learned that the video had been recorded over as the surveillance system overrides itself in a set amount of time. On December the 29th, I received an email from Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office asking me to call him. And that's when they talked to the sheriff's office. The family reported all the things that they had said. And the only reason I'm going through this is because we know it did not happen at Gilchrist County. And so the family went through all the circumstances that they believed, and now he had gone and they believed he was under a John Doe, and that they informed them to follow up at Papa John's.
Mm.
Mm.
I also informed them
Mm.
that he had been identified on scene, which was Tyrone, by his Florida driver's license and by Kiara prior to being
Hold
transported.
on,
I
y'all.
was unable to locate it on their system. I later learned that the video had been recorded over as the surveillance system overrides itself in a set amount of time. On December the 29th, I received an email from Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office asking me to call him. And that's when they talked to the sheriff's office. The family reported all the things that they had said. And the only reason I'm going through this is because we know it did not happen at Gilchrist County. And so the family went through all the
Okay.
circumstances that they believed. And now he had gone and they believed he was under a John Doe. And that they informed them to follow.
She got a BBL, and I want to say she got her breast done, spiritual gangster.
Yes, she
She
did. She
definitely
got her
had work
BBL
And
and
done.
and
she
if you
got
go
her
to
boobs done.
Tyrone YouTube page, you will see that him and her talked about it. She was even telling women how to be able to how you supposed to heal yourself and stuff after stuff like that. So it's been discussed on his YouTube page also.
And I gotta go to his YouTube page. I haven't even been on his YouTube page.
Yeah, you
That's
got to go
another
on the YouTube
place we
page.
gotta
You will
go check
learn.
out.
You will see a lot of videos that they are in together. And yes, they have discussed that about her body
So
being
they
fat.
still have his YouTube page up? Because I know for a minute they were saying that his YouTube page was taken down.
Well, I don't know. You know, sometimes some people do on different other platforms. They probably still got some of the the YouTube, some of the YouTube clips from his YouTube, but it was up soon as that happened, and when we first covered it, I was able to go to the YouTube channel and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know they didn't
Oh,
shut it
okay.
down. I didn't know they
Wow.
didn't shut it down, but yes, he had his own YouTube channel, and they did discuss that on there. And also, if y'all was paying attention to the auntie a lot, she mentioned about him paying for her body to get done too.
She
And they
sure
normally
did.
don't do
That's
that.
right.
They
Come
normally
on
don't do
now, come
that.
on now. We gonna be discussing it like you said, Champagne. We gonna go over it, whatever, everything with a
Yes,
fine tooth
please.
Because they
comb. Let's
normally
get
don't
it.
take your YouTube down. They don't even take your Facebook down. They memorialize your page for people to still be able to
No,
see
see,
you. So
somehow it
the only
happened
way
when
they
he
would
was
take
still
that down is
alive.
if she
Yep,
asked for
yep,
them to take that down.
He was
And the
still
only way you
alive
would
when it
ask
got
for that
taken
if there
down.
was any videos in it.
yep. He
Right.
was. Yeah, father, like
Oh, was he
he
still?
was still
Oh,
alive when
He
they
was
took
still
it. Yeah, he
alive.
was
Yeah,
still
because he
alive.
was on TikTok and he was talking about how somehow his page got taken down on YouTube and he didn't know
mm,
why. So somehow either he had more than one page, which is possible, or his
Yeah,
page got put back up.
yeah.
I
oh,
don't know
because I
which
was
one.
gonna say, or because I was gonna say, Empress, they would only take it down if there was a reason to take it down. Like if it
Yeah,
was incriminating stuff, we YouTubers, so
Violating
we
their
know how
rules.
YouTube is ran.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
think
what
I
y'all
somebody
agree.
say?
reported something, and that's what he was trying to figure out. I think somehow something got
Yeah.
reported, and his whole page got pulled
Okay.
down.
So then, okay, that would make sense that somebody reported something this and that, and they took it down. Yeah, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you
Yeah.
were saying that it got down after he died, because I was gonna
Nope.
say, oh no, then that means she did that, and maybe it was some videos on there that she don't want to be seen.
That's possible too.
That's
Mm.
possible
No,
too, man.
it just
Hold
makes
on.
him
We
look
got
like
another
a
guy.
gold digger.
Welcome to the panel, spiritual gangster.
Oh, we got somebody else. Come, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are
Thank
you?
you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, she might have dropped. If you can hear me, make sure you don't have anything open on your phone when you try to come on the panel. If you try to come up and you have stuff open on your phone, the panel is gonna drop you. I mean, not the panel. StreamYard will drop
StreamYard.
you. Okay, welcome back to the stage. Can you hear me now? Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
I actually was looking
I
for
can see it
Beyonce,
in your
but I'll take
smile.
you. Oh, your voice sounds like butter.
Shut up, Father Lot.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it. I tried.
Cannot with you.
We gonna continue and see if she's able to come back up. Again, if you're able to hear me, if you want to come up on the panel, please make sure you don't have anything else open on your device because they've made StreamYard real persnickety now, like Restream. So if you have other stuff open, it may overload your system and StreamYard will drop you or not let you up. So I don't want you to think it's me. It's StreamYard.
Up at Papa John's. I also informed them that he had been identified on scene, which was Tyrone, by his Florida driver's license and by Kiara prior to being transported to UFL. On 12/31, which was 4 days later, Kiara met me at the GPD station, where she was interviewed by Detective Rodonis and I in GPD CID interview room. The interview was a video and audio recorded and uploaded to their evidence team. The following is a summary of Kiara's 4-hour interview. For a verbatim copy of the interview, refer to the recording. Kiara and Tyrone came up from Orlando and were staying in a cabin in Gilchrist Springs. They arrived at the cabin on Wednesday and left on Saturday. They thought they booked the cabin through Sunday, but later realized they had through Saturday. They tried to extend their stay, but could not because, like the man said, the cabin was already rented out. So they got a hotel reservation in Gainesville. On Saturday, they got into a loud argument before they left the cabin. During the argument, they were yelling back and forth about meeting each other's sexual needs. During the argument, Tyrone threw his Wi-Fi router onto the floor, breaking it. While Kiara was packing up the car, an employee from the property came and checked on her, which we know it was the property manager. Kiara told the employee she got into an argument and everything was okay. When they left, Kiara was so mad, she told Tyrone she was driving because the vehicle was hers. Sometime around 9 or 10, they each had a glass of Hennessy and Red Bull, according to her. To Kiara's knowledge, Tyrone only had one drink that day. They left the campsite and drove to Gainesville to stay at the Fairfield Inn. Mind you, they didn't have the same amount of alcohol, so she's the person that's drinking. But the good thing about it is, even if it had, the amount he had was so much significantly lower than the legal limit. But I'm just pointing that out. They left the campsite and drove to Gainesville to stay at the Fairfield Inn. They chose the Fairfield Inn because Kiara gets a Marriott employee discount. After checking into the hotel, Tyrone stayed at the hotel because he was still mad about the argument, while Kiara went to T-Mobile to try and get a new Wi-Fi router. Kiara stated to the family that it was T-Mobile. GPD said it was AT&T. Remember, I said...
So y'all, Spiritual Gangster was letting us know that she got her body done in 2021.
Okay, that still don't mean that ain't gonna give her a new
Oh,
attitude.
okay.
Like she can still have a new attitude, okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
I would
yes.
love to see
Okay, no,
if
she got
her
her body done
attitude
in
changed after that.
2021.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. She still could have a new attitude 3, 4, 5 years later because the more that it looked like it's well conditioned. She took well good care of it, okay?
But
So
now
that went to
here's
her
my
head.
thing though. This is why I kind of lean away from that and think somehow there's something else at play here. Because like I keep saying, Dro was obsessed with this girl. So anything that was his was hers. Like, he didn't withhold nothing from her. One of the reasons why so many women are investing in this case and angry at this case is because he represents their knight in shining armor that the dragon came and unalived.
But
Because he represents the man that all the women want, right?
mm-hmm.
She doesn't. Y'all remember when y'all saw them sitting at that table for his birthday and she handed him a check to start his business?
Yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
She said,
Uh-huh.
let's get this money.
Get this money. So I just feel like it's something else. I don't feel like it was planned. I feel like, and this is just me, because I can see it from everybody's angle. I feel like it was something that went wrong. We saw how she acted at the hotel when he was getting out, and they said she pulled off before he finished getting his stuff out the vehicle. Then you have them continuing to argue at the pizza place. You have them pulling off, continuing to argue. So we don't know if she hit him upside the head with something or da 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 da. It escalated, went wrong. Now I got to figure it out. The figure it out part for me was way too sloppy for it to have been planned. It seems too sporadic for me to have been planned.
No, not
Exactly.
playing. Not
Well, you
playing.
already know, Champagne. I already got my own little theory. I just wanted to be agreed on that. I knew that she got her body done, and I'm not saying that it just got done right then and there, but I knew she had surgery on her body. That's the only thing I was making a comment on. But at the same time, I'm agreeing with you on that also. But y'all already know. I believe that all of this stuff started at that cabin and as that lady said, when she went into that interrogation room, this is a point I wanted to make. They got to arguing over sexual desires. Now, what do that lead to? Oh, you ain't been satisfying me. So, what do also do that lead to? Okay, then that's the only part that I wanted to make my point on right there.
Well, like I said, like I'm saying, some women are never satisfied. So even though he was doting over her and giving her the world, She could have been the one where that's still not enough. Not enough, not enough.
Uh-huh.
And
Or
Or
it
when
she
could be
could
a
have been
simple
at the.
fact. Go ahead,
Go ahead, Father Law.
Savannah.
Go ahead.
Or it could be the simple fact of it's that age old saying, no matter how pretty you wrap the box, I just don't want the gift.
I'm with that one
It,
all the
I,
way.
it
I
don't seem
I
like
But
she
totally
that,
ever
agree.
really wanted him. It just was
because
money.
that
And for me, I don't
430,
think
Mm-hmm.
it's planned either. But I feel
no, it's
like
not planned.
with
No, it's
with
not
all the
planned.
accolades he got and all the money, is she was all about this money. Let's get this money. Let's get this money. Could it be the fact that she trying to get his businesses?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
the friend said she ain't who you think she is.
But
And
Because
why
of
would
course,
she? All
with
right, but I need y'all to think about it. Why would she try to get his businesses if he gives everything to her? I'm pretty for
if she's
sure
one of those,
that way,
everything
it
that
will
he
never
got,
stop.
he this is why I'm
if
agreeing,
she,
and
if,
we talked about this the
And
other day too. Spiritual
uh-huh.
Gangster said she was doing work on him. I don't know why I feel like she put some type of love spell because he was overly addicted. This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. This
yeah,
man was obsessed with this woman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
yeah.
anything this girl would have asked that man for, he would have did just
I don't
because he
blame
was
the
obsessed.
way he was. Yes, the way he
Or
was.
if
But that,
but here's this Empress, you're right. And I'm digging into, well, piggybacking off of and what you and Paula said on the fact of her working a root on him. But here's this with roots wear off.
right.
And here's this, it not if she was having putting roots on him, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one doing it. She could have been paying a shaman to do it for her, and now she needs to pay him again because the spell is weakening. And this is why they're arguing, because he's coming out
Mm-hmm.
of it. It's starting to break. So now I need this money, I need this and this and the other, so on and so on, to keep whatever going on that's going. Like I said, for her giving her everything, he never lets her be without anything. He everything that he gets and accumulates to give to her. But if it's starting to break,
Yep,
then
I agree. I agree with that part, Father Lock. I believe she finally asked if he could invest in her own a business or something, and he turned her down. I believe she didn't get her way this probably this time because he already said she was on punishment, and I believe she still felt like I don't care what you talking about. What we gonna do about this money? And I
Mm-hmm.
believe he said he wasn't gonna do nothing, and
I
this is
think
when it
it
went
was more
down.
what y'all said about the her bringing up the sexual thing. I think she
Mm-hmm.
started
that
being less
too.
intimate with him, and
And
that
That's
could
what I
have
said.
been
Mm-hmm.
She
what
became
mm-hmm.
less
provoked it
interested.
more.
Sometimes
He
them
because now
opposites
I'm all
attract.
sexy and fine. You don't fit me no more. When I was just flat ass
Mm-hmm.
and flat chest
That's
that
what
you
I'm
fit my
saying.
bill. Now I
Sometimes
look too good to
opposites,
be with you, but I don't
right?
want to
That
give up no
Sometimes
yeah.
money.
yeah, opposites
Yeah.
sometimes do not attract, and sometimes when you hungry and that pre-law, that's a little hunger that average folks we don't have that because we not pre-law. So that pre-law leads you into other people, other 3-piece suits and not truck driver. 3-piece suits and not truck driver.
And because we don't know if they got a prenup, is reason why he give her everything. Because when the
This,
minute we break up, you no longer get anything. You
but,
never
but,
know.
but his
I don't think he
Yeah.
infatuation
cared.
level,
True. True.
his
True.
I don't think he
infatuation
cared.
level was true. His
Mhm.
infatuation level was true. He was totally smitten with the girl. True.
Yeah, let
But
me show y'all something. Do y'all see these? Look at these pants. Do y'all see the pants that he has on? Do
mhm,
y'all honestly think he would tell this girl no? He has her face on. How many men? This is why I'm agreeing with Spiritual Gangster, and we had this conversation the other day, Nisi and Paula, when we were up here talking
Yeah.
about love spells and all of
Yep.
that. This
yeah,
Yep.
man was
Yep.
up. How many men do y'all know is walking around with
mm,
a
mm,
woman's face on their pants? Don't worry, I'll wait.
I
none.
did it once.
None.
None.
but
I
but
did it
but
Not
that
no
once.
still don't
hardcore
mean that he didn't
gangsters.
No,
finally
not
say
no.
no. It still doesn't
But
mean
here's
that he
this:
couldn't
the
have
only
finally
reason
said
why I did
no.
it because she did it first. So I didn't want to
The
make her feel bad that
only
she had me all over her clothes, but it wasn't her face, it was just her. She had my name on everything she had on. So I kind of felt bad, like I would never do this. But I ain't want her to be out there left alone, just hanging on the lead. So I went and did it too. You know what I'm saying? And then I had a jacket with her face on the back of my jacket, and she had one with me on the back of hers.
well,
But
it's rare.
that's only
It's rare.
but that's
Just
when
say
we
it's
was
rare.
like, I mean, we like 18, 19. You know,
Yeah,
that's
just say it's
first
rare.
love,
It's
puppy
rare.
love, first
But
girlfriend,
that's
first
what
baby
I'm
mama, that shit like that. Now we fucking 8900 years old, and I'm walking around with you on my clothes. No, no.
saying.
On your pants. See, a
On my
jacket is
pants is
one
that.
A jacket you can take off. Like,
But
we
you
done
walking
seen stuff.
around, and I need you to know she man. She right here by my crotch. You see her face, nigga. You stay away from my girl.
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
Ain't
that, ain't
nobody,
it?
yeah, dudes ain't, they ain't, no. I don't think
Yeah,
he
but
would
that's what I'm
tell her
saying.
no.
Right. Even if he wouldn't tell her no, she'd get a no
Yeah,
if
I
this
can see
date
where
and
y'all coming
ended up
from because
that
I would
day.
damn sure say no.
This
I'm
seems like it's one of them
sorry.
days from the
But I wanted to
posty
get the
note and the
information to
fake
know if
no.
GPD
But
misspoke.
Empress, you know what I said. I said it in the beginning that I feel like he was really, really over the hills over her. Maybe I mean, maybe this is like the best chick like ever that really, really, really he put interest in. Like maybe all the other girls was just girls I can hang with, get down with. But this is her. This is her.
Maybe he felt
And
like she was out of his league.
yeah, so yeah,
He
now
bought
Mm-hmm.
you
her body
upgrade her,
parts.
and now she really out of your league now.
He bought her body parts. Ain't the average man is not buying body parts and don't think they own the body.
So now
So
we
of
got
course
thoughtness going
listen,
on.
that's
That
what I
may be
mean
the
by
reason
trust.
why we got money going on. That might be
But
the
this what
reason
I'm
why we
saying.
got
That's what
another
I mean
man.
by
We
he
got roots working. That might be the
yes.
reason why.
But that's what I
What were you
mean by
saying,
he's
Paula?
choosing by her. That's what I mean by he was head over heels by her to buy her body part. He's there. He's all the way there, make you my wifey. But boyfriend said that she ain't who she So if he is
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
his friend, if he is his true friend, that means he was always in his ear about this girl. Before
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
body parts, before body parts, and especially now after body parts.
And I
He was,
believe that punishment came with some shit that she had done that she done cheated.
yeah. And
And
like
she
I
and
said,
I really do believe that.
but
And
if
I
you dealing
believe
with
that they probably broke up for a minute and then that cabin trip was probably let's try this
yeah.
again. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
But
I don't think
look,
it went that
I don't
far.
think about I don't think that
Mm-mm.
goes no up. But what I'm saying is, like I said, he's a truck. He's doing a truck driver, even though he's good and clean, and but he's a truck driver. She want to be a lawyer, so she dealing with boys with 3-piece suits on, different smelling, different talking, different,
And could that
different.
been one of the arguments because of their
And I'm quite
career choice?
sure
You gonna be on the
that
road all the
after,
time. I'm a
yeah,
lawyer. You gonna be gone. What am I
Well,
supposed to
she told the
do?
police it was over sexual desire, so that means she wasn't wanting him in a sexual manner like how she used to.
but her foot was
Which
broke,
would
right?
make it
She
even
blamed it
worse
on
if
the
your
foot.
truck driving gonna be gone all the time. That would make it even worse.
But this what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But
The
she
two
travels a
girls,
lot with him, though.
yeah,
They
Oh,
that's
she
travel
goes
now.
together.
with him.
That's
Yes.
now.
Yes, yes, they was
That'll be
going to.
now. That'll be now. She's
Okay.
Miss Law student though. She's
Oh,
Miss Law
then maybe
student. That's
this
what I'm
time he
saying.
told her he didn't want her to go.
Or she could
Yeah.
be right. Or she could
No,
be.
Oh, so why don't you
I
want me
don't
to
think
go this
so.
time?
I don't think so.
Well, but see, this what I'm saying. Sometimes, like I said, two worlds just don't match. And if the intelligence level is not there with the female and the male, she gonna be making more money than him.
I really think it just really came to a head that they're just on two different levels. Like
I
Yeah.
agree.
in my
Yeah,
opinion, like I
yeah,
said from the beginning, I
yeah.
Uh-huh.
never felt like Lulu was in love with Dro. Do I
No,
Yeah.
feel like Lulu
no.
loved Dro? Yes.
She
Do
could
I
have.
think it was Do I think Lulu would have spent the rest of her life with Dro? Yes, I do. Do I think it was a forever fairy tale type thing for him? Yes. For her, no. I think it was a business arrangement. I think
It
this was
Yeah,
was.
somebody
It
that's
that
what
I'll
I'm trying
was.
to
spend the
say,
rest
Empress.
of my
Yeah, I
life
feel
with
like it was.
you as long
Yeah,
as I can benefit from it. I'm getting a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This is what I
100%.
want. And somehow at the cabin, things change because I don't
Yeah,
know. Somehow she stopped being as intimate.
yeah,
If the
and this is
argument
what.
was about intimacy,
yeah.
Well,
Because
I agree
that's
with
what they
that.
said the
I agree
argument
with
was
that.
about.
Uh-huh. So
But
yeah.
for me, it's like, of course, we'll never know. For
Of
me,
course.
I'll never know what really happened, what the argument was about. I'll never know what happened within the between of them 9 minutes of them going from the hotel to the pizza place and the incident happened. But what I will say, I will always stand on, she is not innocent.
not innocent
Yeah.
at all.
No, she didn't. No,
She
she
At
is
didn't.
all.
not innocent.
No. Mm-mm.
Let's
It's
continue, y'all.
something.
Mm-mm.
Or if the story changed. So that part of the story did not change. It's always been T-Mobile. GPD got it wrong. Tyrone said that he was hungry and wanted something to eat. Tyrone came out of the hotel and got into Kiara's vehicle and they continued arguing. They went from the hotel to Papa John's. Kiara waited in the vehicle while Tyrone went inside to place an order. When the order was ready, Tyrone went back in and picked up the pizza. When they left Papa John's, they were still arguing. Kiara was driving west on Southwest Archer Road and missed her turn towards the hotel because they were arguing. Kiara continued driving west until she got to the interstate. The argument continued and they were not talking about a situation involving Tyrone's daughter. Tyrone's daughter had been getting in trouble and got caught lying to Tyrone. And so and I read what she stated, but we learned that that's not what actually happened. So Tyrone also found in his daughter's cell phone that she wished that she were dead. Tyrone was also upset with things the mother of his children was telling them and put it in their heads. So we later learned that that's actually not true. The person who created the risk for Tyrone and his daughter was Kiara, not the daughter's mom, and not because
Hey.
she was trying to kill herself for any of these things. So we learned that that part's not true. Kiara made her U-turn to go back towards the hotel. At some point, Tyrone jumped out of the vehicle while Kiara was driving. We already know the medical evidence says that he was not jumped out of a vehicle while she was
Somebody echoing, y'all. Mute.
actually driving. Kiara thinks Tyrone jumped out of the vehicle because he was so mad about their argument. Remember, her earlier statement, she felt like he jumped out of the vehicle because he was overwhelmed about his daughter and his granddad. In this statement, she says that he was so mad about their argument. Kiara could not remember if she slowed down or not when she realized Tyrone was getting out of the vehicle. Kiara said it all happened so fast and it caught her off guard. It caught her off guard, but she kept going. Kiara did not think she was going that fast because she had been doing a U-turn. But then now she was going 25, 30 miles per hour. I don't know. Tyrone had jumped out of moving vehicles in the past while messing around, but never doing an argument. Remember, Kiara says he's never jumped out of a car doing an argument, only when they mess around like Florida boys. And I want to state that because that's important. Kiara further explained that when Tyrone had jumped out of moving vehicles in the past, it had been when they were slowing down to a stop. And he sees someone that he knows. So even when he jumped out when they were messing around, it's when they slow it down to a stop and he saw someone that he knows. Tyrone would jump out of the vehicle and run up to his friends. Kiara said it was abnormal for Tyrone to jump out of the moving vehicle during an argument. Again, Kiara said it was abnormal for Tyrone to jump out of a moving vehicle during an argument. When they typically argue while they're in the car, they would park or stop, and one would get out of the vehicle to separate themselves. Whoever would get out of the car would start walking while the other would drive a short distance down the road and wait for them. What used to happen would be Tyrone would get out of the car and walk, while Kiara would drive next to him until he was ready to get back in. But that seemed to make the arguments worse, so they got into the habit of driving down the road a little bit and waiting. This would give them space and time to cool down. And we learned that being a crash out girlfriend, that Kiara was a crash out, so she wouldn't let things calm down. But this is her statement. What used to happen, I read that part. On the day of the incident, when Tyrone jumped out of the vehicle, Kiara proceeded to drive to the Circle K. So you're not used to him jumping out of a vehicle. It caught you off guard. And even though it was out of the ordinary, you kept going.
So You used to him jumping out the vehicle, to you not used to him jumping out the vehicle, to you usually drive alongside of him, but today you decided not to drive alongside of him, to y'all decided because it make y'all more irritated when y'all drive alongside each other that now you just gonna drive up a little bit and just wait. Like, who came up with this lie
That's a
is
nice
what I don't
one.
understand.
That's a nice one.
This what I'm saying. They didn't even crack the lie. Like she didn't even try. So
Mm-mm.
you're going to tell the police, excuse me, and want everybody to believe that you and this guy who, according to his friend, used to be from the street but changed his life around, came up with a plan on how to argue and jump out of a car in the middle of a street. Because that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
You know.
So, we're not talking about being on a sidewalk. We're not talking about being in the middle of a field. We're talking about being on a street because that's the only way that you can say that you continually get out of a moving vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So you and this hood nigga, let's just talk, right?
Yeah, real
Came
quick.
up with a plan that when he get mad at you, this hood nigga just gonna jump out of a moving vehicle. And
No,
you
no.
don't stop the vehicle. You just keep going down the street and I'm gonna calm down and catch up to you.
No, I don't know no hood nigga like that.
Listen, I am one of the most creative writers that you probably ever seen. Going on in the Champagne City. I done created vampire stories, all kind of stuff down there. Never in any of my stories of murder, mystery, or anything have I ever thought that if I put in the story that we plan to argue and get out the car while it's still moving and meet each other down the street, that the people gonna listen to this story and say, I ain't never thought of that one.
That's a good idea.
That
Yeah,
is
wow.
a good idea. That
Yeah,
is for I'm gonna try that one next time with my baby daddy.
yes,
Come
you did.
on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
who was the Gomer Pyle ass
They
cop?
believed it.
Who was
Yes.
Barney Pfeiffer and them who believed this story after 4 hours of interrogation and said, yep, that's it.
That's
That's
what
the
it is.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Child, please, they need a civil suit against the police department at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Kiara waited. For her, it was approximately 5 or 6 minutes. We know the calculation was 12. And then saw police cars and an ambulance going to the area where Tyrone got out of the vehicle. Kiara drove back to the scene and spoke with EMS and GPD and told them what happened. There was a nurse at the scene that said she had found Tyrone in the road and tried to help him. An officer at the scene gave Kiara Tyrone's wallet and cell phone. Kiara said that she would follow the ambulance to Shands. We know that she didn't, and that's how she got lost, and there was such confusion.
I'm sorry, Niecy, it didn't even tell me you was in the back. You got something to say, babe?
Oh, I ain't even know I was back in. You know, it's been kicking me out. Yup, I'm telling. I'm telling.
About the actual trauma name. So then they go into their relationship history. They said Kiara and Tyrone met 10 years ago. They dated off and on for the first 5 years and have been steady dating for the last 5 years. Early on in their relationship, arguments became physical with both of them putting their hands on each other. Kiara got arrested in 2020 for disorderly conduct. The family is
Mm.
aware that it was domestic, but what they did is charged her with disorderly conduct instead of a domestic battery. This arrest was a result, which she admitted, of an argument between them. The case was later dismissed. After Kiara was arrested, Tyrone picked her up from the jail. Kiara described Tyrone as being amazing and having the biggest heart. Tyrone was the outgoing one in the relationship, while Kiara was more reserved. Kiara's family has nothing bad to say about Tyrone. Tyrone's mother's side of the family likes Kiara. Tyrone's father's side of the family used to like her, but since this incident, they have been hostile towards her. Tyrone's family, since the incident. Kiara said she gave the hospital staff Tyrone's mother's phone number, but she had the wrong number for his father, which we know is a lie. Tyrone's father's side of the family was upset about this, as they should, because we know that's a lie. Since the incident, Tyrone's mother's side of the family has been supportive of her. Since the incident, Tyrone's father's side of the family has been hostile towards Kiara and accused her of murdering Tyrone. I've not heard them say that she murdered them. They said it was only two, and the one who walked away, her story has been changing. That's what I've heard, but I'm telling you what's written in the report. Tyrone's aunt has started spreading rumors that Kiara hit Tyrone in the head with a Hennessy bottle. Now, Aunt Tasha did say that might be possible, so I'll say that. And then he was pushed out of the car. The argument after they left Papa John and Tyrone getting out of the vehicle. Tyrone and Kiara were arguing about Kiara not wanting to have sex. Tyrone kept trying to talk over Kiara. Kiara kept telling Tyrone, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk about this no more. Kiara turned the music louder, which upset Tyrone. Kiara was driving and not paying attention to what Tyrone was doing. Kiara did not see Tyrone fidgeting around or putting his hand on the door handle. Kiara did notice Tyrone was moving his hands around while he was talking, so she does not believe Tyrone had his hand on the door handle while they were arguing. I'm going to read that again. Kiara was driving and not paying attention to what Tyrone was doing. Kiara did not see Tyrone fidgeting around or putting his hand on the door handle. Kiara did notice Tyrone was moving his hands around while he was talking. You know how we talk with our hands. So she does not believe Tyrone had his hand on the door handle while they were arguing. Tyrone had the pizza box on his lap during the argument. As the door was opening, Kiara believes she said, Tyrone, what the fuck? Kiara said this in a sense of Tyrone was taking things too far. Kiara remembered Tyrone holding the pizza in one hand and opening the door with the other hand. Kiara said she might have hit the brake a little bit as the door opened, but she could not remember. She said she also may have sped up after the door closed out of frustration, but she could not remember. I'm going to read that again. She said she might have hit the brake as the door opened, but she could not remember. And then she said she might have sped up after the door closed out of frustration.
Who closed the door?
Right.
I believe
And
she
if
opened
you
it and told him, get the fuck out the car. I believe he closed the door back. I believe she opened that door and pushed him out after she, you know.
How? His skull was shattered to the front of his
Mhm.
brain, unless he was the first talking zombie. Exactly how?
mm-hmm.
There's no way this man got out the vehicle on his own with those
That's right.
injuries,
That's
because
right.
by their admission, because they keep saying blunt force trauma.
Mm-hmm.
In order for there to be blunt force trauma, there has to be trauma caused by something blunt.
Yep.
Or am I from a different dimension where it no longer means that?
Yeah, no,
And
it
did
means
y'all
that.
did y'all pay attention to the family dynamic of the relationship she had? Now, haven't we always grew up and our grandparents always told us, a man, a guy like my son probably would go out and try to get a woman that's just like his mama. How do you
Mm-hmm.
not know that his mama you know his mama toxic? She is too. She just from her conversation of what she told these police officers. That's the reason why the mama likes her because they are alike.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point there, dear.
That's the reason why that mama like her.
Oh,
Something in
we.
common.
She said what she said.
Mm-hmm.
But she could not remember. When Tyrone got out of the car, Kiara did not see him in any of the mirrors. Kiara believes she saw him standing in her peripheral, but was unsure. Again, you're not known to do this. You said the vehicle was moving. It was out of character. You're not sure if you saw him, but you kept going. Tyrone was not wearing a seatbelt prior to getting out of the vehicle. It was common for Tyrone not.
Yeah, because y'all, she got that new Elon Musk 3082 edition
Mm-hmm.
vehicle that don't have a rear view mirror. It don't
Mm.
even have back windshield at all.
Mm.
Y'all didn't see the new 3082 edition of the
Mm.
Tesla that's coming out?
Yeah,
Sophisticated.
yeah. And it probably was her idea to drive her car. Because, like she said, that's her car.
No, she didn't
Mm-hmm.
drive that. She drove the 3082 Tesla that don't have the rear view window.
But I thought the lady said that she supposed to made a comment that it was her car. That's why she wanted Tyrone not to drive that time because it was her car.
Niecy, go smoke some weed. Land, Sonny. Just land. Land, Sonny. You know damn well ain't no Tesla 3080 damn two.
I'm still on the car, y'all. Regardless of what model, make, model it is. Listen here, I'm trying not to get off the train track.
No,
Okay,
girl, I'm being funny about the car
I'm
because
so
how
back,
exactly do
champagne.
you not have a car that you could not see this man on the
Right.
ground?
No,
How?
Right.
she said she
Right.
don't got no windshield. She talking like she. That's why I was going along with the
That's
program.
why she
She
got a
talking like
Tesla
it.
3082.
Yeah, she got the new Tesla that you just said.
She got the new one. She
Yeah,
have to. I'm finna
but
go design it and send it to Elon. Maybe I can get some money for the design.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the Champagne City edition Tesla. I
and
need some
I
engineers. I'm share the money with Champagne City. I promise you,
Mm-hmm.
I am. I need some engineers, and we gonna create the 3082 Tesla
yeah,
and send it
yeah,
to
without no
Elon
review,
Yeah, I
without no
know you'll
review.
with
be
no
able.
rear view. That's the key.
Yeah.
We gonna call it the Kiara. No, the Lulu. That's what we gotta name it. We gotta call it the Lulu, the Champagne edition.
No,
Lulu.
I knew you
Yeah.
were being sarcastic, but I am over here high. I ain't gonna lie. But see, I'm the type of person when I get high, I think better. So I'm just saying.
She started thinking too logical. Like, what?
Yeah, that's why you missed
No, but
that.
To where
I'm for real about that mama. That mama act just like her. So of course they're gonna connect. And most guys do go out and find a woman that's just like their mama.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Do y'all know who his mom acts like to me? And I ain't really had an opportunity to get back into it because so much going on. But his mom gives me Kanika Jenkins' mom.
Yep, and I agree with you on that. When you said it the first time, you sure did say that.
She gives
Mm-hmm.
me like
And she
not
the one.
opportunistic. I don't even know if I can put my finger on what it is about them two.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute I saw his mom, I just saw her mom. It's like the same spirit, the same
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to
Mm-hmm.
explain it to you. But that's what she
Mm-hmm.
gives me.
Well, I think she got the Jezebel spirit.
Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
his mama was walking
Mm-hmm.
down the street butt naked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm talking about Lulu too. I believe Lulu got the Jezebel spirit.
Well, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now.
She said what she said.
That's I
I'm
heard
just
it. I heard
saying.
it.
Look, what's my saying, Niecy? Argue with your mama, not her.
Exactly.
A little give
I'm
it
Carol
just
to
giving
believed
you
she had
what you
already
should
completed the
think
U-turn when
about.
Tyrone got out. The door closed on its own after Tyrone got out, or Tyrone closed the door. And my thing is, if he completed the U-turn, if she completed the U-turn after he got out, why you needed to speed up? But I don't know. Who am I? The Circle K was
Mm-hmm.
the first place she saw that she could stop to wait for Tyrone. Carol may have been accelerating when Tyrone got out of the vehicle because she had just done the U-turn but was unsure of her speed. I want to state this because there was a reconstruction done and it is impossible for her to be going 25, 30 miles per hour. Also, I read you earlier where she stated that she had stopped during this U-turn, but now here her story's changed again. She does not know how fast she was going. And it's so
Mm,
weird.
mm.
Y'all spiritual gangster asked, do you think it's some kind of energy over the mother? She has lost all of her sons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you could tell she toxic. Look how she acted at that funeral. She's toxic.
So I never am the type that wish bad on anybody. But your energy, your aurora can show like what type of person you are. When she went to that town meeting and was talking about she just wants justice for her son and all of that, it's you could tell that this lady is toxic and she bring a lot of toxicity with her. Especially how she hate that daddy so bad.
I was just in a little confusion because I'm like, okay, I know I understand. I went to school. So I know that justice for somebody means that there has to be an injustice. So if you're on social media saying that you don't think there's been an injustice, then why are you saying justice for? Like, two
Yeah.
plus two got to equal four, and that just
Mm-hmm.
didn't. So it was confusing me. Like sometimes y'all gotta stop and step back and pay attention to behaviors instead of
Mhm.
just what people say. Cause a lot of times it's the stuff that come out of people's mouth that's really the BS. It's the action
Mhm.
and the
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
behind what they say. A
Mm-hmm.
person can give you wisdom with the wrong energy and it
Mm-hmm.
be
Mhm.
not received because the energy was wrong. Somebody else can say the same thing to you in the right energy and the same words are completely received and you take them in and they're able to transform your life into something. Same words, different energies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She
I
gives
believe
you
it.
two-faced as hell. She give you two-faced as hell. And people who act like that, oh, it's hell that come behind them. Baby.
I believe a lot of times we get out of the
Mhm.
will of God and we leave ourselves and our children uncovered.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of times it's parents
Mhm.
because we spend so much time focused on chasing the bag and other things that, and sometimes I won't even just say that. Sometimes we spend so much time on survival mode that you don't even, it's not that you're trying to throw your children to the side, but I'm in survival mode. So in order for me and us to survive, then I
I
gotta
say got it
focus over
already.
here.
Now here, put
Yep.
them in.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Yep.
think a
Thank you.
lot of times that's really what happens. We get so focused that we lose focus, and sometimes it's just too late. And
Yeah.
other times, our energy pulls that to us.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's correct.
So maybe
But
she should have stopped to think about what kind of energy she was attracting to her.
shoot, look at her liking Lulu. That was another energy she was attracting to her. The heck?
Facts. Big
Mm-hmm.
facts.
because GPD says her statements have been consistent. Kiara regrets not looking back when Tyrone got out of the vehicle. Tyrone was not suicidal. Tyrone always carried a handgun with him. After the incident, Kiara could not find his handgun anywhere in the hotel room. I informed Kiara that EMS located a handgun on Tyrone. Now, mind you, this is the handgun that the family's asked about multiple times. Nobody's given any answers. They said that the family made it up. And mind you, law enforcement, even when we've stated this, has still not stated to the family. We just had a meeting March 13th that they recovered the handgun. They didn't say a word. Prior to asking more detailed questions, I read Kiara her Miranda rights via.
I'm gonna pause right there. We're gonna discuss this, but then we're gonna pick up tomorrow at 39:24. But I got a question because I ain't seen nothing about a handgun being dusted for fingerprints.
No, first we heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
that's the
I'd have
first I heard
heard
that.
because how do we know the handgun wasn't what was
Yeah, the
used?
weapon. Yeah.
Hey, yep, that's the first thing
Yeah.
that
Wow.
came to my mind when you said that about that gun. Mm-hmm.
How do we know? Because we still don't know what the murder weapon was, the red rum weapon. So how do we know
Mm.
that the handgun wasn't used? So you telling me that he was in the vehicle in the midst of this big argument with her, and where was the handgun found on him? That's
Right.
that's the
That's the
question. Was it in his
question.
pocket? Was it in a holster. Where was this? This handgun now has me perplexed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do remember the family saying that he had two of he supposed to have
Correct.
two sticky ickies. I remember the family saying that.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Mm.
know. I want to know. Because now I wonder, y'all arguing in the midst of it, she grab it and hit you with it or da 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 da. I wonder, has she ever, pulled one of your sticky ickies on you before?
And like you said, he's so in love with her, he
Or
felt
was trying to
comfortable to
reach
be
for it.
having it around her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, I mean, think about
Mm.
it. Was the safety on? Like, what do we know about this handgun? Because if the gun was found on him, right? But we said he was ejected from a vehicle, basically. So you
Right.
shake, rattled, and rolled out of a vehicle, according to them. And you had a handgun on you. It didn't discharge. It
Didn't
didn't
fall
come
out.
out of your pocket. It didn't fall out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just nicely and neatly wherever it was, it stayed. So
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never had a ninja have a handgun that damn secure. Ever.
Mm-mm.
Ever.
Wow.
Because it
Come
ain't
on.
easy access if it's that secure. I have never heard.
At
Hold
all.
on, how Cat Williams say, in the history of
If you
niggerdom,
nigga them.
Mm-hmm.
have I ever heard of a ninja having a gun that secure? That you can step out of a moving vehicle, twist, rattle, flip, and roll so much so bad till you hit your head so hard, according to them, on the concrete. It don't bust open though, but it
Mm-hmm.
shatters your skull and sends skull fragments to the front of your head. So your head is messed up, but that gun, baby, that gun's still on your side though. That gun ain't moved. That's what we saying.
After he
Okay,
jumped
and
At
then
out.
where
all.
this phone? And then where his phone at, Miss Ma'am? So you mean to tell me the phone ain't go with him? The phone must have fell in the car while he was falling out, and that's why you ain't giving the phone back to the family when they asked you for it.
He got that gun secure, but that phone
But he
ain't
ain't got
secure.
it exactly. Come on, man.
That phone ain't secure. But
Mm-mm.
y'all, listen. This what we dealing with. These two right here. Do you think that so here's the thing, right? This gonna be the finishing conversation. It makes sense that that's what the argument was about, the sexual nature. When I told y'all from the beginning, I keep telling y'all need to link up. I be paying attention to this stuff from the beginning. I told y'all in the beginning, very first video, and there's a whole playlist for Dro on the channel, that she didn't give me in love with him. Never. She don't give you
At
that. You
all.
know how a woman behaves when she's in love with a man. You know how a woman behaves when she's in love with a man, even if the sex ain't even that good. When she's in love, she don't even care about that because her heart speaks to her more than that does.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was really in love with him, that simple gesture of what he did at that little cabin for her, she would have been all over that man. And first of all, y'all would have got sick of the pictures and videos of her all over him in the middle of those woods if this girl was in love with this boy.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't. This was a business arrangement. She cared about him. She had feelings for him. She would have went to the ends of the earth with him. But if you look at all her posts, she was my best friend. He was my best friend. I miss my best friend. I told y'all it reminds me of that episode of Scandal. I think it was the first one
Yeah.
with the army general who was
Hmm.
gay, and his girlfriend ended up being unalive. They never found out who did it, but they wanted to blame him for it. When he
Yeah.
went to Olivia Pope, he kept saying she was my best friend. She was my best friend. But he tried to make the people believe that this was his girlfriend. This is what I think with Lulu and Dro. I do not think that she was in love with him. I do. That's why they're arguing over sex, because it wasn't that kind of relationship. And if
Mm-hmm.
it was, at what point it no longer was.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
maybe the whole argument, the whole weekend, and the punishment. Now I'm starting to agree with Paula and the thoughtness, because if you ain't giving it to him, girl, you giving it to somebody.
Somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no
Somebody.
woman in no relationship with no man, and she ain't sleeping with her man and not sleeping with nobody else. Oh baby,
Mm.
she getting it from somebody.
And I
And it's
believe that boo thing called her too. That boo thing called while they was on that vacation.
Mm.
mm,
Y'all drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this story. Champagne Gang, final thoughts, Paula.
yes,
Hold on,
well,
press pause, press damn pause. Hold, we can't go nowhere. Say what? RNRR radios. She was by.
oh, but she
Oh
wasn't on
shit
top.
nah.
But
Put
what I
some
said, you
sauce in the
couldn't say what
flavor.
she was.
What?
So it could have been another man or it could have been another woman. I said that.
You did,
Mm-hmm.
Paula. You said it could have been a female. We don't know if it was a man that assisted.
Well, that
She
leaves it
was
all for another way when you say you getting your body parts from a man and you really into the women.
that
So
give you a whole nother concept.
yes, yes, and a whole nother reason why.
Hence, again, would make sense if she's more into women than she is into men. So while everybody's talking about other men, other men, other men, there could be another woman in the
Hmm.
picture. Because remember, hold on, if I'm correct, didn't she meet through Dro baby mama? Ain't
Dro
through
baby mama
Dro baby
had
mama's
had a
sister
friend.
or
Yeah,
something
she
like
had.
that?
It was supposed to be Dro. Wait a minute, one of them. It's supposed to be the baby mama friend, wasn't it?
I think it's the baby mama's sister.
Oh yeah, or the baby mama sister, and that's how he met her.
Mm.
Yeah.
So do y'all
Mm-hmm.
think that Dro was just a cover for what she really wanted? Do you think that's what it was? And he started wanting more because of all the stuff that he's given and all the stuff that he was doing for her? And that's what really the argument was about?
Could be,
I'm doing
could be
all this
if she
stuff for
giving it
you.
to
Yeah,
I done
she
another
was.
planned this whole trip for you. I done looked out,
Mm-hmm.
got a whole cabin. We in the middle. I done planned the game. All the. That's why, if y'all remember the first videos that I did when I showed y'all drove videos, of his encouragements on TikTok, and I said this sounds like he's talking about her
Her. Yeah. Yeah.
when he was talking about people not having your back and not being there. Because I
Mm-hmm.
said, how is it exactly can you be talking about someone not having your back when you got the love of your life by your side?
That's right.
And
one.
that's when I told y'all all the stuff that we was looking at online could just be for show. And this relationship is a lot more toxic than we know.
Mm-hmm.
And if
But I
we're
thought you
saying,
said Champagne that he was so in love with her, putting her face on his pants and stuff that he just still wouldn't tell her no.
No, I didn't say he told her no. That don't mean the relationship wasn't toxic.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
she's off into the female persuasion, that argument could have been why the third one couldn't join in, or can the third one join in, or could have been any of that nature too.
Or
Sexually.
she called while they was on that vacation.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
or she ain't gave him no putty tat after he done planned this whole cabin trip.
Bingo. But she
Hey,
giving it to the girl thing.
Cause
Yeah.
listen, let me explain something to y'all. Let me explain something. Look, if I plans a whole romantic evening getaway or what's never for my significant other, and I got everything that you want laid out, you ain't gotta worry about. You can have whatever you like.
Hey,
And I done planned a whole weekend just the
the
two of
two of
us.
us.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to the cabin and I don't get no packer. Baby, listen.
Mm.
Y'all thought the Tasmanian devil on Looney Tunes was something.
There's a government
Please
over
and
there.
believe. I done laid out a whole banquet feast planned. You ain't gotta do nothing but show up, and you trying to tell me I can't have. Yeah, that I can understand how that conversation went from zero to
To
hell.
100 real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Real quick.
Like the late Bernie Mac said, it's gonna be some smoke in the
some
city.
smoke in the city, or at least
Mm-hmm.
in these trees.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's why I keep telling y'all she wasn't in love with him. Said
Mm-mm.
that in the beginning.
That's
She wasn't
obvious.
never.
That was obvious. Don't fake laughs. Oh baby, I just can't
Baby.
stand that.
So wait, y'all, I told y'all this is what did it for me. Oh my goodness. You
But
did so good. I said, what the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
That corny ass shit.
What the
Yes.
hell is that? What?
Hmm. No truth in that. No truth,
Just
no feeling, no
it just
nothing.
looked it fake.
It
You could
felt
tell it
fake.
was
It felt
fake.
fake.
I
Yeah,
said
it
you ain't
felt
here.
fake.
And then she walked up and took her fist and like chest punched. What? I'm like, oh no. I
Mm.
see what I be telling y'all, I pay attention to everything. I'm a Virgo. Listen. Same way I paid attention with the Erica and JD Vance thing and knew that was a whole play from the beginning. Told
Yeah,
y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
now with them
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
talking about this 25th Amendment thing and making sure the vice president gets the presidency, I'm sitting there looking same way I told y'all that Trump had something to do with Project 2025. People all in
Mm-hmm.
my chat because I have a small channel talking about yeah, okay.
Yeah, I remember
Keep
hearing
Oh
telling
that.
yeah,
y'all
they was
link up.
talking
I be
stuff. Yes, they
knowing.
was.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
be
I
they
knowing
remember
was.
this
hearing
stuff. This
that.
girl don't want this boy. I told you in the beginning. This girl don't want. You can tell by her behavior. Y'all got to start learning how to pay attention to behavior instead of just words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You did so
yeah.
good. She didn't run and jump around his waist, around his neck, knocked the phone out, and then gave him a peck. A
Yes,
peck.
yes.
Peter Piper
Mm-mm.
pecked a peck of pickled pepper looking ass. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. No, no, no.
After this man done planned this romantic getaway. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing about it. It wasn't extravagant. And
No,
maybe
straight
that
from
was the
the heart.
problem. But it
Yeah.
wasn't extravagant. But it was so. Do you know how now see me? This is where me and a lot of women differ. This is where. I ain't one of them. I could care less about a red bottom. I don't understand the point in spending $1,500 on a shoe, a purse, a belt, or a bag. Is it going to change color with each outfit that I wear? Because if it's not, why am I spending that kind of money? I ain't even her. Like that
Mhm.
ain't even me. Stuff. I'm a person that is turned on by energy and effort and imagination. The level of imagination and effort and time and energy that he and creativity, the level of creativity that he put into the cabin and the red sticky notes on the
Yeah.
cabin and the little
Yeah.
game with the stickers. It
Mhm.
Yeah.
didn't cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It
Mm-mm.
wasn't Birkin bags and Coach bags. It was creative thought. Anybody can
Mm-hmm.
buy a
Yep,
bag.
That's right.
Everybody ain't
that's
gonna
right.
do that. And this ungrateful tramp, Tryla
Mm-hmm.
Roach, gutter, whore, snipe. Oh,
Cotton
Father
ready.
God.
$6 and
Mm-hmm.
36 cents. Mhm.
Because you got your body done and you think you extra thoughtness, I'm gonna put that on some of our first cups, and it's gonna have to be signed Paula. Her thoughtness turned up. This man is no longer here
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you chose
Greed.
something that didn't choose you back.
Hmm.
Y'all better look at this as a wake up call as to what can happen when your choice don't choose you back. When you spend all your life trying to pour into and trying to upgrade and trying to upgrade with and trying to all this somebody that don't choose you back. This ought to be a wake up call because you're dispensable. He became
Yep.
dispensable to her. She didn't care about him. He was like yesterday's news. What was that? Like she's a evening newspaper. Wasn't that the phrase? The African phrase, she a evening newspaper. Everybody get a turn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
y'all, final thoughts. Miss Paula.
Yeah, well, now that we done found out that she got a little more juice in her juice, I don't know. It's still looking more like to me she had a little extra help. If it wasn't nothing but that ear, that's who she called, and then that's who talked her into it, and that's who helped her get over the hurdle. So I think she did have a little extra help, and that young man lost his life because of her thought in his belly button that's showing.
Nisi.
Oh, I'm just gonna say I knew it. I just knew it. She just too much for TV. The toxicity. I knew that she was the type of she was a insecure chick. And
Yeah.
Cat Williams said it best when he said it's called self esteem, esteem within yourself.
Absolutely.
I agree 100. Mm-hmm.
Father
That's
La.
my final thought.
I believe that she never intended to be with him in the beginning. She never cared anything about him. She cared about what he could do, and that was the main frame. I have to play my role to get what I want. I feel like the whole thing with him doing her body and everything and getting her set up, that this was never really for him. It was for him and someone else. Mainly someone else could be this
Mhm.
girl. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
just like, and it's unfortunate to say, but it does play a role in all societies of people. It looked like in this case, unfortunately for him, he was just her bra, just like a gay man who picks a girl and she's just his beard. I think he was just her bra. And it got to a point where he already knew about these other girls. I mean, he's not stupid. He knew that she liked girls. And I think it got to a point to where she started to treat him as like he didn't matter anymore, opposed to her maybe wanting to be with this woman or this and that. And then it made me feel like that's why he kept giving her everything to try to keep try to keep her. And
Mm.
try to feel like, why would you want her opposed to me? I'm a male. I got all this. I can give you this. I can give you that, because there's no way to say that this other person is doing anything for her. He's doing everything for her. So it's like, why wouldn't you want me? I'm providing all this. I'm doing all that. Or it could be a sense of maybe he wants to accept it, and by him being so in love with her, okay, I want to join in, and maybe that's not something she wanted to do. I know about these girls. Well, if you want to be with her, well, why can't I be with y'all? Can I join this
Mm-hmm.
and the other? And it was just like a no. And I think they're really getting into it about this other person. And I really do think that this wasn't an act alone. She's guilty, but I don't think she's guilty alone. I really think there's another party, being it a male or a woman. I just don't think she acted alone, and I think she did it. And those are my final
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, and I stand on it, 10 toes down, and all the
All
broken nails
right.
on every toe.
There you go.
Listen, look, we've established. Now we're gonna go back because listen, if y'all want to see a full breakdown of what's been going on with the drug case, I do have a whole playlist on my channel from when I covered it in the beginning, and then I pulled away from it because I do not do mess. I do not do drama. This is not that kind of channel. So if it gets too messy, I'll pull away from it because I don't want to bring in a messy audience. You come in here and learn about some empowerment and positivity. That you can do. But bringing the drama in the city, no, we don't do that. So I pulled away from it, but then I restarted it and we went back to the beginning and we covered it from the beginning. We also covered the autopsy. I broke it down. I created visuals for you all. So go check all of that out. We are going to come back and cover this. Now, listen, I don't know tomorrow if we will cover Dro or this baby that was just unalived by the daddy's jealous ass girlfriend. I keep telling y'all, time and time again, y'all better be careful about who y'all laying
Oh
down
yeah,
with and
Empress,
who
I
y'all
heard
have
about
around
that.
y'all
I was
kids.
hoping you did cover that
Y'all
because I'm not
better
gonna cover it. I
be
hope you do.
careful about who y'all have around y'all kids.
I
In
feel
20,
like
Mhm.
that should
listen,
be
we
covered
were
by
having
people.
a conversation. It was me and my daughter. And I was getting ready to tell my grandson to go outside and take out the garbage. And when I told him, I said, grandson, go take out the garbage. And all of a sudden, I thought about it. I know it wasn't nobody but the Holy Spirit. And I was like, yeah, never mind. Hold on. Let me put on my shoes. I'll be right there. There was a time where we could go take out the garbage. I don't care what time of night it was. And we didn't have to worry about not coming back in the house or not being okay.
Right.
Nowadays, your kids can't even go outside and take out garbage behind your house because you don't know who lurking around or who watching.
Mhm.
It is a different day and age. So we might be covering that. But again, y'all better look to your left, look to your
And
right, and ask yourself, do the energy next to you feel right? Ask yourself, is the energy right when your kids come into the room? Because when you have children, sir, ma'am, you are a package deal. It's not one way. If they can't accept what's yours, then
mm-mm.
they shouldn't be able to accept you.
I don't even think you gonna be with me if you start to display any type of actions to make you think you come before my kids. Uh-uh. No, no, you done. That's
Well,
a
I wish a
instant.
lot of
That's
fathers
not a
thought
red
like you.
flag. That's a breakup with me. Nothing would never come from them. The very dick you like, they came from. Oh no, you get to play. They came from here. You will never mean more to me than my baby. I could be 199 and they can be 99. You will never come before my kids. There will be nothing on earth but God Himself and Jesus Christ that will ever come before my babies. That will never happen. No, you ain't giving me
And
nothing
man,
that great.
y'all
No.
better be careful. Be careful. Because every
Because I
time you
went
turn
through that,
around, you're
Empress. You right.
seeing
I've been
more.
through that. I had to leave a person for that. No, you spend too much time with them for me, and you can leave because will never get the time they will. You can go.
Mhm.
Bye.
Every
We
time
can
you
talk
turn
about that
around, you see
tomorrow.
more and more of these stories of these
Yes, we can
mothers
talk
and
about
these
that tomorrow.
children.
Man, we can talk about that tomorrow. We can catch back up with the spotlight later, but we can talk about that tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I
Because I
want
was
to
Yeah.
get
looking for
into
woman
those
to cover that. I
momsters.
want you to cover that, Empress.
Yeah,
You
see,
know how
you got to
we is
see.
about kids.
Yeah, so we can talk about that tomorrow. We pick up with the Tata. We already know Tata did it.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Her and her thoughtness. She said she already know the thoughtness did it. Look, every time we have one of these on the screen in one of these shows, their new name is the thoughtness. The new name in the Champagne City for them from now forward is the thoughtness. I'm letting you know that name is coined. We better not see it on no other channel because we know where it started. And we gonna send Paula to come get her stuff back. Is all I'm
There
saying.
you go. There you go. No thoughtness
Yeah.
allowed. No thoughtness allowed. Champagne
We
on.
gonna leave. We gonna leave Pack and Paula alone. That sounds like a woman who got a strap. I don't got time for that. I don't got time.
Oh, no, baby, go so far. The whole strap. It's a whole
We
strap.
got
Yes,
empty
indeed.
your
It's a
brain,
whole strap.
Empress. We got Pack and Paula.
Yeah.
We got not no nonsense, Nancy B. I would no. I'm gonna have to leave this. This sounds like a game. Oh, that's why she called it Champagne Gang. I knew it. I knew it. I've been duped. I've been hoodwinked. I've been
Nah, y'all
bedazzled.
better all be a little touched when you come into Champagne City. Ain't none of us fully got it all together. So if you coming over here expecting
Exactly.
Touch,
perfection, please don't. Please
touch,
don't. That's why during the week I have an episode
not
called Talk
touch.
Your Shit for them days that I don't feel quite myself and I need to get some stuff off my chest.
Oh
So
well,
we
then I'm
all
at the
got
Hmm.
wrong
some
place.
stuff.
Then this is for
Bye.
touch people.
Get
I'm not
out.
touch.
Bye.
I'm rubbing.
Bye. Adios, muchachos.
I'm not just
Some
touch.
days
I'm
I'm
rubbing.
touched and not by an angel. Is all I'm saying. Not by
Hey,
an angel.
and I second that motion right there.
Yeah, you need to have a different type of brain coming up in here. For real. Yeah.
But y'all listen, thank you so much for joining me in the Champagne City tonight. Make sure you do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Also the notification bell so you'll be notified when we jump into whichever sector we jump into for another show. You guys have been amazing. Please do me a favor. Consider hyping up the video. I think the button is there somewhere, allegedly. So please consider hyping up the video for me. Tell a friend and come join me tomorrow. I'm going to try to go on at 8 p.m. CST. So hopefully I have all my audio stuff set so that we'll be able to stream straight from OBS, adding the panel in because I like my screens and my sources. You know, I'm a producer. I like to produce.
I know that's
So
right.
y'all gotta see the flips and the flops and the transitions and stuff. It's not a champagne show if it's not a production. Y'all know how it
That's
goes.
right.
Yeah, she truly does do production. Speaking of her productions, because she says it sometimes in
Right.
videos and in lives, but she don't say it all the time. If ever you all are in the channel and some happen to go across the channel profile, please take the time out to go to the VIP section of her profile, where there are other channels of the Champagne universe that she very seldomly speaks of, like Ignore and other channels like Champagne Central, which is an AI inspired channel, which will have different shows like talk shows, AI movies, and different AI inspired content, and the other shows that she have that will be coming to the other channels that are there. So if you haven't had the chance to do so, please go over and become a part of the other channels in the Champagne City universe. I must say this before she go. You don't just have Champagne Secrets TV, girl. There is other places that you do production on that you don't be telling these people, girl.
I do. I tell them in the beginning. You just
She
don't be
said I
on in the
do.
beginning. You don't be on in the beginning. I tell them in
Oh,
the
okay, I
beginning
just
to
wanted to
go to
let you know,
the
because
VIP
I want to
lounge
give
and
you
check
all
out the
your props,
shows.
being a one woman show
Uh-huh.
and things. I appreciate me, a woman content creator, especially a one woman show who do production like this. I need the people to know about all you do, boo. They need to know about everything.
Champagne gang, fierce fam, confidants. Always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, baby, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta ta.
Ta ta.